I like the uncomfortable. That's what makes me laugh the most.
Totally.
When someone's funny, I'm like, whatever, dude. I don't care.
Right.
I like when they're making people squirm a little bit. That's what makes me laugh.
Tickets are on sale for KFC Radio Live. Click the link in the bio. Get yours. Come out and hang with the boys.
It's another edition of KFC Radio on the Barstool Sports Network. Flying solo today, Feitelberg is in the swamps of Louisiana with Jackie and Mincy. I can't imagine like a worse / better combo than that. They didn't know what house they were going to. Mincy and Sydney didn't tell them the address, so they show up in like the neighborhood. They're looking for context clues. John was like, pull up Mincy's video when he's selling the watch. He's in his car. Okay, the car has a Toyota steering wheel, so let's look for a Toyota. So they found a steering wheel. Then there was also a video, I guess, of Sydney and Mincy trying to find the house, and he looked to the lockbox combination, and he was like, oh, this lockbox is set to the same numbers that Sydney and Mincy did on their Twitter. The only problem was Sydney and Mincy were in the wrong spot to begin. So they thought they found the right house because of the lockbox number, but they were in the wrong house. So it was 3 a.m. John calls me at 7 a.m. He goes, it was 3 a.m, and I'm wandering the swamps of Louisiana, banging on a bunch of doors that belong to a bunch of Cajuns. He's gonna get shot.
I mean, that's how a true detective happens.
That's how you get fucking shot, dude. You bang and kick. He said they were like kind of like trying to push the door in because they were like, this is it. This is the house, but we can't get in. No. You're just banging on the door of some fucking poor people in a Louisiana swamp. So then Sydney's like, by the way, we're not going out on the boat anymore at 5. We're going to go at 7 because I have food poisoning. Great. So she goes, tell Jackie that I'm in the last door on the left. She can come crash with me. Jackie was kind of like, I don't really want to crash with you. You got food poisoning. But she goes, tell Jackie, last door on the left, fights, you can sleep wherever. So Feitelberg's like, all right, I'll just grab whatever room. The fights, you can sleep wherever just meant there's not another room. Feitelberg slept on a fucking love seat last night. Feitelberg is not a small guy.
No.
Like nobody, like Vibs couldn't sleep on a love seat. Feitelberg certainly can't sleep on a love seat. So I think he just sat on a chair for he got in at like 3, and he sat on a chair for 4 hours, and now he's fishing in the swamps of Louisiana. I mean, I can't even thank God for Feitelberg in this duo. And Fights really is very good about it, where he says yes to everything, and he challenges himself, and he does things out of his comfort zone, and he does things for the story, he does things for the video. I never in a million years would have said yes to this. I obviously, because I didn't. And also, the minute I got there and there just wasn't a room for me, I'd be like, all right, I'm going home. Or I'll catch me at the hotel in downtown New Orleans, because I'm not doing this. He's a 35-year-old man sleeping on a love seat in the swamps of New Orleans. Come on. I mean, that is insane. That is so ridiculous, dude. So that's where Feitelberg is.
I mean, one of my favorite parts of this, Jackie yesterday, as she was about to leave, she leaves at 5. She hasn't packed. They're leaving at 6. And she's like, all right, so I'll edit the podcast on the boat tomorrow. And I'm like,
oh yeah, that'll work.
Yeah, I'm like, let's think ahead to any time you've tried to edit the podcast remote.
Jackie can't even edit the podcast from her apartment.
How long are they down there for?
2 days, I think, only.
So he's sleeping on a love seat for 2 days?
No, they're sleeping on a boat tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Sleeping on the boat.
Yeah. No. This is the thing. The boat, the houseboat, he was like, it's just a house. Yeah. He's like, I don't know how they're calling it a houseboat. I think it's just on, it's probably on the marina, on stilts or something. Yeah. But that is the place they're staying. So I think he just doesn't have room for 2 days.
That sucks.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what I would do there. It's I'm not going to kick Jackie and Sydney out of their room. If it was you two bozos, I'd be like, I don't know, you're sleeping on the love seat. I'm fucking going in. I can't. I mean, hats off to anybody who's still doing that. I applaud it. I'm just I can't anymore. If I slept on a love seat, I'd be out of commission for a week.
That love seat is going to ramp up his snoring too.
Oh.
It's already bad. Kev, do you remember the flight back from LA when we did Something's Burning. Like, I don't know, you might have passed out.
I think I zonked out, yeah.
I was in the middle and like I was editing, and all night he was keeping people up on the plane over the sound of the engines. So
I always tell people,
it's
I'm like,
gonna be great.
You don't understand it. People say to me,
I hope Mincy says something.
Well, that's I don't want to like tell John's whole story here. I mean, I am, but whatever. He'll recap it. But he said that he got in. You know, the flight got delayed, of course.
Yeah.
Then they land. It's a 2-hour drive, so they get in at 3, thinking they have to leave at like 5. And Mincy's there, and he's like, well, you know, so I got fired by Dave, and then I was doing the brick salesman thing, and you know, and then I got the news, and all of a sudden I'm hired back. And John was like, I know the whole story already.
Do you think he knows who John is? There's a chance he has no idea.
There's a strong chance he at least has him like confused. You know,
Yeah.
like, I thought you were Coley. I don't know what's going on here.
There's no service down there either.
Yeah, I tried calling him, and it was cutting in and out. Jackie texted me like, "I've got service for like 5 minutes. If you need to tell me something, like tell me now." So this is,
And I feel like both of them are people that get seasick.
oh, I
know
could
Jackie
easily
gets car
see that.
sick and he throws up at everything.
At everything.
So the entire
I could see
video might be just
Feitelberg
him
being
throwing up.
seasick, but just being like, "Yeah, no, I'm seasick. I'm just puking." What was the big deal? Like, not like it ruined his day. He'd just be like fishing and puking, and that's just like what he does. I can see Jackie being like a wreck, like she's gonna get sunburned, she's gonna get sick, she's gonna like the whole 9. I can't think of something I'd want to do less. Cometeer changes everything with hyper fresh, flash frozen coffee with incredible flavor that you can make in seconds wherever you are. Cometeer doesn't need any machines or gadgets and no cleanup for a game-changing cup of delicious coffee. Cometeer is engineered with unparalleled quality and taste. I know that all my guys on the team, I know everyone at KFC Radio stays around the clock to edit these podcasts and make sure they get up on time. And if it wasn't for coffee, I don't think Nick, Vinny, Jackie, or Pabs would even still be alive today. So the whole gang here at KFC Radio is basically running on Cometeer at any moment. Each serving of Cometeer is brewed from craft coffee beans with the very best roasters in the country, like Intelligentsia, Onyx, George Howell, and more. Never burnt or diluted, expertly brewed and flash frozen at peak flavor to lock in that freshness. Delivered right to your door on dry ice and keeps in your freezer until you're ready for a cup. It's great. You don't need to brew a pot. You don't even need to do a cup. All you do is you take this little puck. It's like a little frozen circle. You toss it in a cup. You pour hot water on it, and it melts, and it turns into a cup of coffee. The same way you would do like powder with hot chocolate. It's just a little frozen puck of coffee. And then you can customize it however you want it. You can do iced coffees. You can do espresso martini, basically a coffee martini. You just put the puck in, pour your liquor in, shake it up. You have yourself a 3-bean gang cocktail. So today, go to Cometeer.com/KFC, Cometeer, Cometeer.com/KFC to get a free 8-pack and a travel mug when you sign up. You can get all their popular roasts. You can get a curated starter pack, and all of it gets delivered right to your door on that dry ice. So get the 8-pack of coffee and a travel mug when you sign up at Cometeer.com/KFC. I was going to save this for Barstool Radio, but I do feel like I need to close the loop because I started the story here on KFC Radio. I don't even know if I should. I genuinely am torn about making this public because I've done this once before and it didn't help me at all. But I'm such a slave to the content that I think I just got to say it. I am no longer joking. I think my house is haunted.
Oh, your house. It's haunted, or you have someone breaking and entering?
Yeah, no, for real. So let me tell you the latest thing. I got to show it to you guys so you understand. So there's been a couple weird things beyond the... I really do not have an explanation for that statue. The logical... Okay, don't even play yet. The logical thing with that statue would tell me that was in the yard and nobody saw it and we just missed it. But I really genuinely don't think we missed it. I think somebody put it there after the fact. Then the next logical step would be like, my neighbors were fucking around. The kids do some weird shit. I don't know. There's a house behind me that has parties regularly. Like they crawled through the fence. There's a part where there is no fence. I don't know. Looking for a worldly explanation. Then there's like some creaks and some cracks. Eventually, one day I go into the top floor of my house. The second floor of my house didn't have air conditioning for a while. Of course, because I bought a house, the air conditioner broke right away. So for the longest time, we weren't even using the upstairs. Downstairs, like crashing on couches and beds, and I got a window air unit downstairs because it was just too hot in my kids' rooms. So I admittedly was not up there a lot, but one day I go into Keegan's room, and the windows are just wide open, completely open, and the screens were up too, and I was like, oh fuck, we're getting a ton of bugs. Like, who did this? Close the screens, go back in. Like, it could have been like a week later, for all I know, because we weren't going up there a lot. The screens were wide open again because I was leaving the windows open because it was so hot. So the windows were open, but the screens were down. The screens are all the way up. One of them is a screen. One of them is one of those glass like panes instead of a screen. So now I close all of them. And I go in the other day, and the windows are still closed, but the screens are up. Which I'm like, I don't know, maybe there's like a spring mechanism or something. Yeah. We have had like some major storms. I don't think storms lift up screens. But I go in there again, and I fucking close them and lock them. So now everything's locked. So now, like, and the first time it happened, I was like, did I open the screens for some reason and forget? So now I've like officially closed them, and I'll like keep watch. Like now I know if something else opens up that like something the fuck is going on. So little things like that are happening that are like creepy and a little bit eerie, but you're also just like, you probably forgot that you did this, you forgot that you did that, whatever. The other morning I wake up to this video, the video I just sent. I scrubbed down the kitchen before I went to bed. I did the dishes. I took out spray, and I washed the countertop. I wake up to this long brown stain that goes the length of my counter that does not touch the sink. It does not touch the ceiling. There's no leak in the wall. And I touch it, and I smell it, and it's sweet. Like, that is a cup of coffee that got spilled, it looks like.
That right? Looks like, yeah, somebody, like, stirred coffee. Like,
but it like runs the length of the, like, it looks like somebody knocked it over and it like spilled out, and then the cup was gone.
Also, what are the odds it would spill like
on
that,
the spoon?
Go off
oh yeah, and then stay like right there, right? So, I don't have a coffee. I don't drink coffee. Nobody in my house drinks coffee. I don't even have a coffee machine. There's no cup. There's no touching. It doesn't, like, if it went all the way to the sink, I would be like something from the sink, like, but you see there's like an inch in between. There was a lot of rain, but there was no water around the window. There's no leak from the ceiling. None of that. And then today, last night, I went to get ice cream. This one's maybe a little more explainable, but I don't really know. I've been crushing a pint of ice cream for like a year straight. Everybody knows that. And I've been trying to cut back on it, so I've been getting a bowl, and rather than just eating it straight out of the fucking pint, I've been putting it in a bowl. And I got the bowl out, and then I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna eat the whole thing. Yeah. But I left the bowl on the counter. This morning, there was a fresh fork in the bowl. And I did not get a fork out for my ice cream, because who the fuck would do that? And it wasn't like I used a fork for dinner and then like threw it. It was a fresh fork in the bowl.
And only you were home?
Yeah.
There's nobody like working on the house.
Nobody in and out. And so like I sent it to my dad. There's this guy on Twitter and TikTok that I like. This guy who helped me fix my shower once. He actually started doing like a TikTok and a Twitter for like home renovation stuff. So I sent it to him. I sent it to my dad, being like, is there any way the dishwasher is there? So it's like, maybe can water like seep up through somehow? Like, can this happen? But the thing also is like, it's sweet. So I was like, it's not just like brown water, because maybe something did leak and whatever, you know. It was sweet. Yeah. And I've been asking people, and they all kind of go like, oh, that's pretty crazy. so how's work going? And blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, wait, whoa. What? Like, back it up. What the fuck do I do?
I think that we have to hire somebody, like a ghost hunter. What was that show called where they would come in and see like if there's paranormal activity?
Yeah.
I think we got to do it.
I'm not worried. What's that one movie? There's a movie like this. Someone's living in.
That's what. So it's
worried
called
about that.
Like frogging or something like that.
No, there's that movie,
Yeah.
but there's another one too. Oh, I forget who the actress
Because
is
the
in it.
frogging or whatever movie is actually like it's a real thing. They're just like homeless people who live in like your walls and live in your attic, and they stay really still during the day, and then when you're out, they like live in your house.
That's what it's. I'd be more worried about that, honestly.
So like I was like, do I need to like? I mean, I guess I should just have an alarm system and everything anyway.
So-
but like, do I call the police? What the fuck do you do when it's like, if there was a crime that had been committed, that would have been like crime scene evidence. It would have been like, hey, let's look at this spill that like, and I know like I didn't wake up in the middle of the night. I mean, I did go downstairs, but like I know I wasn't like sleepwalking. I was conscious and all that shit. There's no like brown liquid. There's no.
My vote is you put some flour, sprinkle it on the floor at night, and then we see if there's footprints in the morning.
Do you not have cameras?
Go boxcar
Yeah, I gotta
judge
get
with
like.
this.
You need-
I think
you
the
need
first step
cameras.
before I even do, I gotta
Cameras
like, set up
first,
cameras.
and then private investigator second.
Yeah.
You should hire somebody here to be John Rich, private investigator.
John Rich investigator. Yeah.
He is
I'm
more
like-
ghoulish though.
I was
What if it's
thinking
just
today-
him doing his next video?
Yeah,
It's an episode of the Smoke Show. I'm gonna fucking kill Tommy.
that'd be amazing.
I just like. I was thinking to myself like, what happens when you fucking blow a bag on a fucking haunted house? And I was thinking to myself, I'm good. Because I won't sell it. I'll flip it into like a haunted attraction.
Yeah, we're gonna monetize this fucking thing.
Because I honestly, if you were into paranormal shit, it's all well and good to be like, this is the house where like the baby was murdered and its soul is unresting. Like you can do all that, but also what if I just tell you like, yo, there's just weird, quirky shit that goes on here. Like it feels more realistic that like, to me, if there is some sort of paranormal world, I think they are stuck, right? They're like, the idea would be like they're stuck between afterlife and real life, and they're like trying to make contact. Like if you ever seen the movie Ghost, it's an old ass movie, so you guys probably haven't seen it, but like Patrick Swayze's dead, and he needs to like focus all of his energy to be able to move one penny in the real world. Mm-hmm. So like in movies, it's like the ghost can like grab a fucking knife and stab you or whatever. In real life, it's probably like all it can do is like knock something over or put a spoon in it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like that sort of shit, while it's not like necessarily dangerous, feels more like if you were legitimate about ghost hunting, you'd be like, these are actually the things we look for because it's just quirky, weird shit happening.
Do you have any information on the house on who lived there before? Do they give you that?
Yes.
No.
Ironically, the
Mass murder.
no, but I mean, I shouldn't have even. I'm just dunking on myself here. The original guy built an entire fucking dope ass house for his mistress. And the wife like found out about it apparently and was like, nah, this ain't happening. So like I think they like turned the house. She lived in the house or something like that. But it was originally made for like a side chick.
That's the wife.
And maybe, she doesn't like my history, so she's back to haunt. I don't know, but I was like, it's a real mind fuck when you are like, I can't explain this. Yeah. Like even the window thing, like I said, you close it and it like springs open and you don't realize it or something.
Yeah, the window, like, I grew up in a house that was like 100 years old, and like those old weighted ones, sometimes if you grease the sides at all, the weights would just open it.
Yeah.
So maybe it's
like,
that
can
one
be
isn't
explained,
too crazy. It's the silverware in the sink that.
Yeah, even the fork this morning, like maybe I just was walking by and I was scrubbing and I needed to move the fork to wash something. But the stain is just like nobody was down here. Nobody drinks coffee. There is no. It's just not connected to anything else.
The moving of the statue, I will say, that was a thing we did as teenagers. We would just switch like people's lawn decorations with their neighbor and just like hope that they got in a fight with each other.
To be fair, I left that like that was a crossroads for me where I was like, do I take this down or I leave this up? And I what?
You gotta do that.
I think so. I think that's the right call because I was like, I feel like moving it is like if there is something weird going on, you're like opening the door or something like by moving it like releases them or some shit. I mean, as of right now, I also would be cool with like I live in a house where there's like benevolent ghosts. I don't know necessarily think that everybody who's a ghost has to be, an axe murderer. What if it's just like this is like I got trapped here and I just kind of like live here and every now and then, sorry, I knock over a cup of coffee. I'm more worried that there's just like someone in my house drinking a cup of coffee.
That's gross.
You're not sleepwalking?
I mean, I guess you can't be positive of that, but I'm like, I guess I got to set up cameras.
Other things would have happened if you.
Yeah, like I didn't like. That means I like got all the way downstairs. Also, like there was no cup. There was no like. There would have been other evidence of a drink or something. I just don't know, man. With the busy fall season just around the corner, kids are going back to school, football's starting up for people at Barstool, everything's going to get hectic, and you're still going to be looking for that wholesome, convenient meal for you and the family to sit down together. I know during the summer, I do all sorts of barbecues and sit-down dinners. We sit around the table together, and when school and activities start, it all kind of goes to hell. But with Factor, the number one ready-to-eat meal kit in America, you can fuel up fast with chef-prepared, dietitian-approved, ready-to-eat meals delivered straight to your door. You'll save time, you'll eat well, and you'll stay on track with your healthy lifestyle. If you're too busy to get to do your cooking, but you still want to make sure you're eating well, with Factor, you skip the extra step of going to the grocery store and you skip the chopping and the prepping and the cleaning, all while getting the flavor and the nutritional quality you needed. Refresh your healthy habits without missing a beat. You can choose from 34 weekly flavor-packed, dietitian-approved meals ready to eat in just 2 minutes. This is not one of those like, you get to cook and you do the whole recipe and it only takes 30 minutes. We're talking 2 minutes and you have dinner on your plate and in your mouth. Round out your meal and replenish your snack supply with an assortment of 45 plus add-ons, including breakfast items like delicious apple cinnamon pancakes, bacon and cheddar egg bites, and potato and bacon egg breakfast skillets. This August, get Factor and enjoy eating well without the hassle. Simply choose your meals and enjoy fresh, flavor-packed meals delivered right to your door. Head to factormeals.com/KFC50 and then use code KFC50 to get 50% off. We're talking half. Buy one, get one, folks. That's half off with code KFC50 when you go to factormeals.com/KFC50. Code KFC50, 50% off today. Do you guys, do you believe in this shit?
I believe in what you were saying about like almost like purgatory. I believe there's still people.
But so then if you believe in that, that means then, so do you believe in like heaven and hell?
No, that's the other thing.
But what? So like, what do you?
I believe in energy. Like your energy can still be there. Like you haven't really.
But so like, where if you're stuck in purgatory, that implies that you're stuck like in between something. Like, what's the other thing?
That's true.
Or do you think it's like?
I guess it's more of like an interstellar type thing. Where like
that's kind of what I was saying the other day. Is like Interstellar isn't a ghost. It's like a time travel thing where it's like it feels like a ghost, but it's actually. If you were to time travel, you would realize, the only way you can interact is through like energy and shit like that. Mm-hmm. That I'm more prone to believe than like dead soul, you know. And it's like I'm trying to get through the gates to this like afterlife, and now I can't.
Have you ever spoken to a medium?
No, I don't like that shit.
Like everyone.
Then you jiggle your mic. It just keeps.
It's not working.
I've never spoken to a medium. I don't like.
No?
Nothing.
I don't like that stuff. Like, I feel like because I don't want to know. Mm-hmm. It's like when we do those ATI questions, like, do you want to know how you're going to die? I'm like, the last thing I want to hear is like, you've got, a dark, like, presence around you. And I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
'Cause then that's on my mind forever. I'd rather be like, ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
That's why I'm also inclined to just like, bury my head in the sand and just keep on living. And be like, I don't know, I spent too much money to move. I mean, it's a very strange thing that like I was absolutely scared, like in the sense I was like, can't explain this, and I don't know what that means. But I was also just like, I gotta go to work.
Yeah.
Time to do the podcast. I got, I just gotta keep going on with life. And so like, it's a weird thing where I always said to myself, like, if I lived in a house like that, I would pick my family up and leave no matter what the cost, no matter what this or that. And I'm just like, no, I don't know. It's just not very practical in the real world. I mean, if like bad shit started happening, but like, there's never been any like night terrors or like anything like really scary. It's just things where I'm just like, how the fuck is this possible?
I had a friend whose house growing up, it was these 3 girls, and weird shit would happen. They would hear guitar strings like start plucking in the middle of the night. Like the CD players would turn on. All this like weird shit would happen. That was always, it was fun to fucking sleep over there because it was like, oh, what the fuck's going to happen here? And it was in the middle of the woods, so.
You weirdos. I would not want to do that. The people who are like, oh, it's like scary, let's go. I'm like, no. No, thank you.
We usually would get fucking wrecked first.
But did it, so like they just lived in that house and nothing happened and it was just like weird shit goes down?
Yeah, they were saying it was just like spooky shit would happen every now and then.
I mean, I would actually love if you could like somehow guarantee me this. I think it would be very cool if I knew that there was like, it was friendly. Because I like don't believe in religion really anymore, and I don't think I believe in like a heaven and hell, but I do kind of believe in energy, and they say, you can't create or destroy energy, that it's all just like there, and kind of it maybe that means some form of reincarnation, maybe it means some time travel, interstellar type shit. I do believe in things like that because I just think there are stories of the unexplained and weird shit.
There's that,
but like, and if it was just like, sometimes it happens because of I don't know why, and there's just like, yeah, I used to live in this house and I just like float around and I hang out here or whatever. I'd be like, okay, but just like you can't like harm me.
There's that experiment they did too, where like somebody knew they were going to die, so they agreed to like die in a uncontaminated room,
right?
Where it's like their weight changed.
Yeah, like it changed by like 0.01 grams or whatever.
And they were like, nothing in the room changed. That is the only thing, and we don't know.
Can we Google that? Is that real? Because I know the dude who wrote the Da Vinci Code also wrote a book about that.
Yeah.
And I was like, is this? And he usually bases some things in facts, but I was like, is that a real story or
that's
is that
definitely where I learned about it? Now that I think of it, it was either that or maybe Breaking Bad also talked about it.
I definitely know people talk about it, but yeah, the man who tried to weigh the soul. So I feel like. Also, he did it in 1907. I don't trust that.
Oh,
you got to do it like
better
today.
evidence today.
If
that was real.
If somebody did that today in like a completely hermetically sealed room or some shit, but he was probably like, I closed the door to my cabin. 21 grams is like 21 grams is the idea.
I thought that's
how much the soul weighs or whatever. This feels a little bit like, people.
Let's clip that first part though. Put inspirational music and like throw it up on TikTok. And call it a day.
I'm a strong believer, like we were saying before, about like the interstellar thing, because even like the James Webb telescope thing, that's pretty much kind of proven it. Everything that we're doing right now has already happened in like a different time. Like sometimes they have to cross it.
That telescope is so powerful. It's time travel. It's crazy to me. But it's not really. It's just that our viewing of the material has already occurred. Mm-hmm. But that's no different than like
that's a regular
something and you watched it. You know what I mean? Like you're basically looking at film. But I get the concept of like what you're watching unfold has already happened, and so maybe there's other examples of that that we can't even. I also think that if any of this stuff is to be true, if there's like a fourth dimension or something like that, like our brains can't even like wrap our head around that yet. Mm-hmm. Like when that UFO stuff where they say. There's people who go inside of like a space that's this big and they get inside of it and it's bigger on the inside than it is the outside. Yeah. And our brains just like can't comprehend that. Mm-hmm. But maybe if you like lived another 1,000 years, you'd be like, no. There's like ways where rooms can be bigger than, you know what I mean? Like it's like, it does not compute. Our brains just can't handle that. So like if you were to say that there's like this way that like you live long enough that you come back around and then you can only interact through energy, I'd be like, what? But if you were 1,000 years old, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's the same thing as like blah blah blah. It would just be like second nature to you. I don't know. But I am not too thrilled about it. Because it's a dope house. The house is so sick. I really have not shown it at all because I'm like gonna get these renovations done and they're about to start like soon. And it's like I was like waiting for I wanted to do like a home series where it's like gonna show the before and after and everything. And when I think it's done, I mean it's got like this very old look and a ton of character, but it's it needs to be modernized and all this shit. And I'm like, this is when it's all done. Like everybody who comes to my house from like people who come over to like delivery men who just like show up, they're like, yo, this is fucking amazing. But also doesn't that feel like the place that's haunted, you know? like if you just have like if you just built like a square house, like a modern like square, like it can't be haunted. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I have like a spire and a turret, looks like a castle.
It has to have a lot of character to
yes,
it.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I have like these archways and this, like there's like this woodwork and these weird like carvings and it's like stained glass. It's like, yeah, okay, now you're just like opening the door for you to be haunted, you know? But if you just lived in like a, like one of those like Malibu on the beach like houses, it'd be like, I'm not haunting that thing. Yeah. That thing has no character. So I'm gonna get an alarm system and just like a good old camera, because I also feel like I bet you if I put cameras everywhere, like it'll stop because they don't get like caught, you know. So maybe that's maybe it's just like.
Brother, do I have good news for you? You can get yourself Simplisafe for this house. Let's go.
Is it actually
Simplisafe. It's their third ad.
Out of here.
It is so fucking perfect. The whole time you've been saying this, I'm like, I think we can take care of this.
The very first thing you have to do is rule out that like someone is breaking into my house.
Yeah.
So I absolutely am going to go get Simplisafe.com. Listen, I got house issues. I've been talking about it. Everybody knows it. I might have real house issues. I might have surreal house issues. And so I'm going to get Simplisafe up to the new crib ASAP. No jokes, no lie. This is not even for, trying to get you to buy it. I'm just straight up telling you, Simplisafe Home Security will be at the Casa de Clancy, the Clancy Chateau, Clancy Manor, by tomorrow. They get 24/7 live guard protection that helps you stop crime or anything else going on in your house in real time. Now, if an intruder breaks into your home and, I don't know, spills a cup of coffee on the countertop, Simplisafe is there with professional monitoring agents that you can actually see, speak to, and deter them through the new Smart Alarm wireless indoor camera, warning them that police are on their way. You don't want to worry about break-ins. You don't have to. The professional monitoring agents can warn intruders that they're being recorded and stop them in their tracks. 24/7 live guard protection is made possible by the new Smart Alarm wireless indoor camera available with the Fast Protect monitoring plan. The 24/7 live guard protection and the new Smart Alarm indoor camera work seamlessly as a part of the entire Simplisafe security system to keep your whole home safe from break-ins, fires, flooding, and more. Right now, KFC Radio listeners get a special 20% off any Simplisafe system when you sign up for a free month of trial of Fast Protect monitoring. This special offer is a limited time only. Visit simplisafe.com/KFC Radio. That's Simplisafe, SIMPLI, safe.com/KFC Radio. There's no safe like Simplisafe. I mean, I definitely need to feel safer. So I forgot about the gigantic spiders.
What?
There's also the gigantic spiders.
Ridiculous.
I mean, that thing was fucking huge, dude.
Wait, I'll go back to it. Look at that.
I mean, that was. But like the exterminator came.
Yeah.
They're all gone. I had like a bee problem. They sprayed the bees. They're all gone. I would say one thing that I really have working in my favor, I think, I have a ton of wildlife. Like I have these 4 deer that come by very often. I have 2 rabbits, I think, or maybe 3 rabbits that live literally on the property. Foxes come by. I feel like animals like sense that shit and they are out with a quickness. I think that if animals come around, it's usually generally like a safe place. So I'm like, maybe there is something, but they're cool. Maybe it's a fucking homeless person breaking into my house.
Nothing showed up dead on the property, right?
There was that mutilated squirrel.
Yeah.
But that's like a lawnmower thing, right?
Yeah.
I think, that's explainable. I think a hawk like ripped it to shreds.
Oh, yeah.
And then I watched the fox come and just pick up the dead carcass and run away with it. so me, like I'm a city slicker and like I'm a city boy, and people who have like grown up in the country are like, yo, you city slicker, you don't know, like, this is what it's like out here. Like, animals get fucking wrecked, and like, you know, bugs and shit are all over the place. I'm like, fuck. I legit, maybe it's just because it's my like experience, but I'm like, bring me back to like the gun range and the fucking homeless people and like people fighting in the streets, fireworks going off, like teenage kids, like, you know, being like little assholes, like all that shit. I can deal with that. So I'd rather human stuff than animal or unexplainable, you know? I don't like any of that other shit. I'd rather like yell at my neighbors who are like fucking drug dealers than deal with fucking bugs and shit. Yeah, man. And I guess, you know, if anybody out there, like, I don't want to do like, I need like a semi-legit, I don't need like a ghost hunter goofball. I want someone who's like, I study this and I can like, you know, sage your house or some shit.
Oh.
What?
I forgot. No, I forgot. I had like a priest or someone reach out to my DMs that'll come like bless your house.
I almost feel like the priests are the weird ones. They're like gonna invite it in or some shit, you know?
I love that. Everyone. Yeah, no, that'll make it work.
Fuck the priests. So, I don't know. Let me know what you think. All right, we'll get into our interview with Geoffrey Asmus, who is if I had to pick the next comic that's about to break through, the next kind of Sam Morril, Mark Normand, I think it's Geoffrey. Jeff is he did our first Dollar Slices live show. He just put out his new special, The Only Funny White Comedian. He is, you know, putting up 6-figure views on his first YouTube special. Like, he's next. And he had a very funny interview with me and John, so we'll get into that. We'll do voicemails in a minute. First, the latest episode of Out of Order is out. Mikey Pabs, it's as we're recording this, it's drop day, which is it a good thing, or like are you when you reach this point, are you at peace with it, or are you guys like tinkering and editing up until the last minute?
Every single episode we've tinkered up until.
So like I was just say, I feel like until you drop it, you're like making changes, like material changes, like oh, we got to move this around on the episode.
Yep.
So you must be bugging right now.
I think this is by far the most comfortable we've been.
Really?
In an episode, with the little amount of time that we've had to like do everything. We did this all in 1 week. It was like really 3 days of shooting, 3 days of editing.
Wow.
So, it all got done. I think it's all ready to go. And I think Fights agrees as well that it's like our best episode. So I'm pretty.
I feel like we've said that every week.
Every
it's
single
amazing.
Week, but like,
yeah, but that's how you know
it might
you're
just
doing
be
something.
New material where we got all used to the old ones, but I think this is like my personal favorite.
How many skits are there? There's a bunch of this one. Right?
There's 5.
5. Yeah, that's a lot. How long is it?
It's 17 minutes, 16 minutes.
Cool.
Yeah.
I feel like people don't realize how it's like it's every other week, right?
Oh no, it's once a month. Second Wednesday of every month.
So that it feels like, you know, that's a long time, but like it's really not, because it's just like you know, sure, you could just like film very early in the month and then give yourself all these weeks to edit. That's just like, it's not totally realistic to do it that way, but like John's doing his outdoors trip, and like you got like 4 or 5 schedules to organize.
Sass is on the road.
We go on the road. They go on the road. You know, the podcast is like, oh, we got to do 3 episodes a week. Oh, now we're doing Barstool Radio. Like all these things happen, and you're like, all of a sudden it's like, fuck, we only have like 4 days out of that. You know, when you think about a couple weeks here and there, and if you have, you know, 5 or 6 of them free, that's a lot. If you have like a full slate schedule of, you know, life in front of you. So all of a sudden it's like, I'm sure you guys are like, oh, like I bet right now you put an episode out, you're like, whew, like we're good for a little bit.
Yeah.
But you're really not, because it's like, you know,
that Friday we usually film something because you
that's
got to get
crazy.
Right back
it just starts right up. It's it is
sometimes things don't work. Like if something doesn't work,
right. So that's another thing. You have an idea you think it's funny.
Yeah.
You film it. You're like, that totally bombed, and now we wasted 2 days on that.
Yeah.
You know, fuck. So we throw that out. Or like, you know, you put it together, you're like, shit, we need 1 more. We got to get back. You got to rent a room. Oh, that room's not available till next weekend. Like, so all of a sudden, you know, it feels like once a month, and all of a sudden you're like, it feels like it's, you know, creeps up on you every single time. I feel the same way when we go on the road. We usually do once a month. We you know, go to like a 3-city tour, and every time I'm done, I'm like, all right, that one's in the books. We sold our tickets. We did good shows. I'm all set. And then it's like 2 weeks go by, and then you're like, you start thinking, okay, well, next week I'm gone. After 2 weeks, you're saying next week I'm gone. It's like it's just right there again.
Yeah.
So that like never ending, like it's like Sisyphus, just like constantly creating, editing, putting out, creating, editing, putting out, has got to be a grind. Has it like when it dropped, it was like anything else at Barstool, it's the new shiny toy and everybody loves it, and it was like this odd couple of Feitelberg and Sass, and then Greer gets in the mix, and like everything kind of like is, people are from different circles of Barstool fandom are coming together, all this shit. Has that like worn off or settled in, or is that still going strong, or like where is the...
I think that like the first time that Sass and Fights got into a room, we did that adoption sketch.
Yeah.
And like the chemistry was like there right away. And then in this most recent one, you'll just see that like even in like the AIDS bit that we did, that was like the first time I was like, wow, like they really like they're on the back.
Yeah,
and
they
forth,
like
which is
know.
perfect. And then the last sketch in this one, it's like it's 3 minutes straight. We neither of them break once, and like I don't do any editing. It's
That's
just back
sick.
and forth.
It's like one of those True
Yeah.
Detective long
Yeah.
shots, you know.
there is nobody that commits to their role harder than Fights. We do it.
It's incredible.
It's insane. He had to pretend that shampoo was getting in his eyes. And he just full blown was just shoving shampoo into his eyes. We don't even need to do any editing because his eyes are already red.
I was gonna say that's a guy who like he would be like, just punch me in the face.
Yeah.
Just no, like just like break my nose.
Yeah.
I'll bleed for the role.
When he did the OAR music video, which like I think people just forget he was like the star
Of a music video, and like it wasn't like it was like a get up and dance and interact. Like he was the focal point of a music video.
He brought that energy for 2 days straight, where like the director was like, "This is one of the most impressive things I've seen."
I'm almost happy we're talking about this while he's not here, because he would never let me do it. But like when I started to do the business side of the comedy thing, like it was pre-Dave, and so at that point we were still very much like we're trying to become this $1 billion company. And in the comedy world, I have like, you know, 1 million contacts now, and a lot of people over the years who have been like, yo, I'd love to work with Barstool. So in my mind, I was like, I'm going to do this thing, and I'm going to bring in this guy, this girl, this group, this team, this podcast, this show, this sketch show, and we're going to just like be like the WWE, just have like all the best talent. But I also was like, aside from the external stuff, there are people internally that we need to like maximize. And off the rip, I was thinking of like Tommy is like very funny and very underutilized, and Rudy is like coming into his own. And then I saw Out of Order, and I was like, the number one person here is Feitelberg.
Yeah.
Like, I wish I could get in his head more, and like we know he doesn't have like the confidence, and like I don't think any of us do, but I think he's getting more of it now as he's doing this, and people are like really like impressed with him. But even the pot, he's been so good on the pot. Like, he's making me laugh on the podcast, where I'm like, I'm his co-host and I'm supposed to be doing my own shit, and I'm just howling, laughing at the quickness, the wit, the way he tells the story, the way he's like, his brain is working. And I mean, it's just probably too late in life now, but like, if he were to create a stand-up routine with his stories and his like, he always comes in here with like I come in with a personal story, like my house is haunted. He comes in with like I was thinking about this the other day, and it's like that's the way like comedian brains work. And now that I'm like, oh, you're also just like straight up an actor, and he's got like, and then you factor in the fact that he's not like a diva, because he's not actually an actor. He's not actually a $20 million stand-up. So when he's on set, he's like, what do you guys want to do? You want to fucking, I'll rub shampoo in my eye. I'll go for 20 hours straight. I'll do whatever it takes, because he has that like Barstool mentality. And I'm like, I can't do it, but I'm like, if I was a movie house, if I was a producer, if I was an agency or something, I'd be like, go invest in this guy, because he's way, way undervalued, underpaid, underutilized. Like, I think that's the main thing I'm trying to do with this comedy thing, is just like get the word out that like all of these shows are successful. All of these people are hilarious. Like Son of a Boy Dad just started last year, and you know they're doing downloads that are what should be a very profitable show. Same thing with Anus, which I always thought Anus was kind of like, these guys are just fucking around and they don't even want to have sponsors. They just want to like do counterculture jokes and like fuck with people at Barstool. Nope, they have enough downloads that they should have 4 or 5 ads a show. Look at Out of Order is performing on the same level as 1 Minute Man. Please End This is the same level as Foreplay Vlogs. Like everything in comedy, the only job left to do is get sales and the industry to know, like to realize. Like I just want to be like, everybody here is like some of the funniest fucking people on the internet. You got a rap battle champion, Sass is an emerging comedy star. You've got like weird brains like Tommy and Caroline. You've got like Tom, Nick and KB are like some of the most talented writers in the world. Like I don't know, sometimes at Barstool it's like if you're not Dave, you're like getting overshadowed, but these guys still cast their own shadow. I mean, they're all like very, very talented, and someone like Feitelberg is never gonna like say it or do it or even believe it. Unfortunately, that's just the cross he bears and the way he is. Because I think part of it is I think that people who really make it are delusionally confident. Where you're like, that's where the diva shit comes in. Where you're just like, I am the greatest, and I think we could all use a little bit of that. What sucks is there's no in between. It's either like you are John and you're like, no, I'm not funny, or you're like, get me all the, you're not allowed to look at me in the eyes on my rider, and I need all blue M&Ms in the bowl and all that sort of shit. So I feel like I just want people to know it. Like I want him to know it, but I also know I don't know if I can get into his brain. But like aside from me as his friend and his co-host, just like what I'm doing now, almost like starting to learn how to evaluate more and like look at where's like opportunities and shit like that. If he was another person, a different guy that I had no connection to, and I saw like the level of talent and what he can do and the how much he works versus like what he's paid, what he's viewed as, the credit he gets, I'd be like, that the opportunity is right there. It's like we all know who the superstars are. There's no more opportunity there. What you got to find are the people who are not being utilized the right way. And that, I mean, he has that shit in spades. So I'm hoping Out of Order is like the coming out party, not only for him professionally, but like personally, where, I mean, the feedback is so good every time that eventually, I know he says I don't read comments, and he's always like, if you believe the good ones and you can't believe, then you have to believe the bad ones. And I get all that, but also there's got to just be something, whether it's conscious or subconscious, where you just start to turn a little bit when you're like, everybody likes this and everybody says I'm funny. And the people editing it are impressed with you. The people watching it love it. And then like I've been with him since the beginning, where I'm like, yeah, there was definitely a time where he was like not mailing it in, but he was just like, I write my blogs and that's it. Or he was still partying and fucking around, and he was still just kind of like, this is a job, and now it's like a career and a life and a passion, and he's starting to do it that way. And I think it like really, really shows. So I hope that he realizes it one day, but even if he doesn't, I just hope the audience does, because he'll like, you guys will get to the point where he'll do some Tom Cruise shit. He'll be like, I'll just jump off the building. Don't worry. Like I'll just land in the pile of garbage. It'll be okay. And you'll be like, okay, roll, like action. So please go watch Out of Order. It's not only is it very funny and worth the watch, but the people who work on it are putting like everything into it at a time at Barstool when like, we need more of that to be the norm again, like everybody pouring like their entire life into it. So that's exactly what Out of Order is. So go watch that. It's on the Barstool Comedy YouTube. And let's get into our interview with Geoffrey Asmus. Are you paying too much for your wireless plan? Straight Talk just introduced their new Straight Talk multi-line plan, where more lines means more savings. Just $25 a line per month when you get 4 lines with unlimited data, talk, and text on all nationwide 5G. No contracts, no hidden fees, no compromises. I know as my kids get older, I'm going to have a whole family plan where it's me and their mom and the kids and everybody else all on one plan. And that I mean, right now I'm paying like $200 a month. And if I had to do that for everybody, your boy's going to be in the poorhouse. So switch over to Straight Line Multiplan, where you can get $25 a line when you sign up for 4 lines, and you get everything you need, all that 5G, all unlimited talk, all unlimited data, all unlimited text, and you're not locked in for years on end. There's no 3-year deal, and then at the end of that, your phone stops working because they're rolling out something new and they want you to buy it. Pay as you go, stay as long as you want, no hidden fees, no compromises on quality. It's just $25 a month for everything you need on your cell phone. That's Straight Talk, talking straight, from Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart and Walmart.com. Dude, that's a very funny thought. That's a very funny concept that there's been a couple times throughout history that like new shit dropped for bums.
Yeah, they had the Cold 45 was a big day.
Like that day, like
that
40s
jug of
were
port
available.
wine they drink sometimes.
Cisco, Mad Dog, like when those hit
Mad
the market.
Dog,
Imagine you're drinking like Colt 45 for like years on end, and all of a sudden you can have some like fruity malt liquor.
It's like kind of cool. It's like pirate water. It's in a little can like that. Like I remember when pirate water dropped in 23.
I don't know if this is what we want for marketing, but I hope bums are drinking pirate water. I hope it's
Why
a
not?
literal bum drink.
They got money.
They got $2 too.
That's what they spend their mony on.
Yo.
That's fine.
I mean, yeah, I don't care if it's $2 from a rich man or a poor man. Let's go. $2 is $2.
Money is money, pirate water. Take it.
Dude, I went to, you referenced the big jug of wine. When I was like 17, I worked down at the docks. And
Wow. What is this, 1835?
I might have been 16.
We came across on the Mayflower and you worked at the dock.
Fucking Bon Jovi songs over here. Down on the dock.
Bro,
Yeah.
it was like a job. I would just move rocks. It was like a job that they had.
Was this a prison thing? That sounds like a
North
convict
Korea?
thing.
I was gonna say it was like Russia. Like everyone has 100% employment. Like I'd go in the next day. They'd be like, move that pile of rocks there. I was like, I moved it there yesterday. I was strong at 16.
It was like in holes. They're trying to teach you like how to be a man. Like trying to teach you how to be a better person.
But we'd get to work at like 7 a.m. and there was this guy who was borderline bum. Like the only thing separating him from being a bum was this job. And
That's me and some spots some nights at the cellar. I'm like, I need
You'd be
this.
surprised how close I am.
I'm closer than you'd think. Yeah.
and he would get there and we'd get there and he would just be sitting in his car and he'd finish one bottle of At least I don't know when he started it, but he would leave it right next to his car every day. Just a jug of wine. And I was like, that dude.
Wait, like the glass?
the big
the port wine.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's a Portuguese man, and like I was like, that dude. I was like talking to my friend. I was like, that dude sets an alarm to get drunk every morning. Like,
Time to start.
He could just sleep and then come to work. And like every morning, he's like, all right.
Wow.
Some
It's
people go to
always
the
like
gym.
videos of frat guys as the biggest partiers, but it's the bums. They know how to party the best.
It really, yeah.
They're just sipping a jug of wine.
They're
a day.
not flashy.
They're not
gonna,
flashy.
they're not gonna like punch a hole in the wall,
Yeah,
but
they're
just
not
gonna
creating
be...
content over it, but they're living that
Love of
drunk
the game.
life
Yeah.
under the radar.
Dude, I remember when I was first started drinking, and like in our town, it was very like sitcom or cartoonish. There was like the jocks, and then there was the preppy kids, and then
sure.
like I was hanging out with like a bunch of the Puerto Rican kids and like the black kids, and so it was very like segmented.
Not a 90s sitcom then. They don't have that on NBC in the 90s.
It was more of a Netflix.
The preppies were like leading the drinking charge, and they were the ones playing beer pong and flip cup and all like the fun games. And I was like, for whatever reason, I was like nervous or like embarrassed I wasn't going to be good at it. So we were the guys being like, I don't need to play games to drink. And we would sit around drinking fucking malt liquor 40s.
So fun. I'm
drinking
15.
warm 40s rather than like playing games and having fun. Eventually,
We're
I was
already
like, oh,
sad
this is
about
awesome.
life. We don't need fucking games. Life sucks. Geometry's hard, and we're gonna drink.
You're 15, dude.
Yeah.
Relax.
I was
Throw
similar,
a
and
ping pong ball around.
I've been unable to get out of that character my entire life. I committed to a bit at 15.
You're method acting. Method acting at
We
this
made
point.
fun of the kids who drank. I was like kind of religious in
yeah?
high school. We were like, you guys are losers. That's not what you should do with your life.
Wow, you
And
guys
then,
are
like,
lame.
I was really like, I was a huge nerd.
I
Well,
actually don't care what you do as long
unlikely-
as you don't judge.
The unlikely thing, like in my high school, like the mean kids were the theater kids.
Oh
And,
yeah,
it's like
I
that,
was adjacent to that.
That
yeah.
it was like we were like, why are they so fucking?
I was the
mean to
math team, bro. if that exists.
I'm smarter than
I was
you,
like
and,
Quiz Bowl. I was like, I'm smarter than
Wait,
you.
where
fucking
are you from?
Minnesota.
Minneapolis.
Yeah.
Right,
I went
right.
to like a little Catholic school. Yeah,
Dude, I was just in Minneapolis.
Minneapolis is awesome.
I
what
went
a great place.
to Kink Night at Gay 90s.
Oh shit!
Dude,
oh
it
wow!
was wild.
Was that fun?
It was-
Did you
it
learn
was-
a little kink?
It was very fun.
What
and
kink
we actually,
did you like?
Dude, it was actually like, it was almost like, obviously it was circus-esque, but like, they were just bringing guys up there and just like whip, and like the crowd was reacting like they were whipping lions. Like it was like, hitting
they
him
were
in the
whipping
stomach.
them.
It was like,
Yeah.
oh,
Oh,
and they hit him
wow.
in the dick and be like, ah! It was,
That sounds fun.
Yeah,
That sounds
yeah, it
good
was
time.
awesome.
Human
That's good.
mutilation. Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
Let's go.
That's better than a bar just playing Sports Center. That's great. Yeah,
but you know
see
what
a guy get whipped. Yeah.
Was I walked out. The bar's called Gay 90s, but they had this special night called Kink Night. So we walked in.
Yeah, that's a famous bar in Minneapolis.
And they're like, "Do you want to pay extra for like the extra show?" And we're like, "Yeah, for sure." And then we go into that, and then we stuck around for maybe an hour or so. And then I went to the regular bar, Gay 90s, and that was just all sports. And I was like, what the fuck is this? I thought there was going to be like the gay bar was just a sports bar.
The gay people got broed out, too.
I'm telling you, everything in the world is just flip-flopping at this point.
Right.
Wait, so did you have like a Rumspringa moment where you no longer were religious, or you just kind of like faded out?
Yeah. My friends like pressured me into having a party after we graduated when my parents were gone, and then I tried some Rumplemans, and I was into it right away.
So
I was like,
funny,
"This is
bro.
good,"
Pretty
because
much,
I couldn't talk to girls. That's what I needed a shot of Rumplemans, then I could talk to a girl.
That story is tale as old as time.
It was so
couldn't
great.
talk to a girl until I did a shot of mouthwash. And then I
was like, "Oh, women are just boring." I need some alcohol before I can look them in the eye. That's what it is. I have to be on the verge
I
of
remember
vomiting.
puking out the window of a cab, gone off a bottle of Rumplemans, and
I feel like that's a high school drink. I haven't had it since. It's disgusting.
I mean, it was well after high school, but I was still young. I was like early mid-20s. I was probably 24, just puking out of the back, thinking that I was like getting it out the window and not realizing that the wind was just like pushing it into the back of the guy's
Uber?
car. Yeah, I think it was a yellow cab. So he was
man.
really bad.
Oh, this Pakistani guy's
He was
just screaming
so
at
mad.
you. I come to this country.
Yeah, this was back when. Imagine if you were one of those guys that paid like $1 million for your medallion, and then like Uber started, and it's just like, it's worth it.
Yeah, right.
It's
They've
all
just
for
been
nothing,
in the
dude.
family passing
You could have
it
just had
down.
$1 million cash, and now you have.
Is that what they had to pay to get that?
I think at the peak of like yellow cabs, it was $1 million.
Holy shit!
I was just watching a Suits episode where a yellow cab driver takes Harvey to court, and that was $500,000 then. So
yeah, I mean,
it's been on the
Jesus.
downside.
but then
It was
Uber
still
started, and
very
it was just
expensive.
like, nope.
They're just like, nope. Anyone with a Ford Taurus
Bro,
from 2003.
If you order
can do
a XL and you get a non-extra large car, I think that person should lose their
that's
their
a felony.
license. And,
That's a felony.
put them in jail.
Yeah, exactly.
I've told this story before. Like, I for whatever reason, it might be because of Barstool. Whatever. I heard about. I was like the first person to hear about Uber from my friends. So like, we'd be out. I'd be like, I'll get us a car, and they'd be like, well, what is this? And like a Suburban would roll up with a guy in like a suit, and they'd be like,
White
you have a good
gloves and
driver, dude.
They think you have like a Raya app for cars. Like, oh, rich guys only. Okay.
And then like as it grew, it's really capitalism ruins everything. And then as it grew, it's like a guy will show up with like I had one. I was going to Long Island. And I was going with like 4 people, and I got an Uber XL, and a guy showed up in a CRV and was like, "Can one of you just lay down in the back?" I was like, dude, we're driving 2 hours. Like, that's called kidnapping when someone lays down in the trunk for 2 hours.
Yeah, you know it went off the rails. We got like white moms doing Uber. They're
The first
talking
time I
to
got
you.
a female Uber driver, I was like, "You're crazy."
Yeah.
It's a little more common now, but the first time I saw it, I was like,
They're
"What
like,
is
my
this?"
kid's in the front seat, no swearing. Buckle up for Jeremy. Yeah, I hate that shit. I like when they can't talk to you. They can't speak English.
So
It's great. I like that.
I use Uber a lot to send things. Like I'll forget like the kids.
You can like deliver stuff via
Well,
Uber?
kind of, yeah. Like,
okay.
so my kids will like forget like their stuffed animal or their toy or something. And I got to send it back to their mom's house, and rather than just driving there and back, whatever, I'll just send it in an Uber. And like 99% of the time, it's all good. And this one guy the other day refused me, and I was like pissed off about it,
Wait,
That
so
was
you
the
call a
easiest
regular
ride.
I
Uber?
call a regular Uber, and I just text the guy as it's like coming to my house, and I'm like, just let you know, like I'm not gonna go, but I'm gonna give you a bag, and then when it gets there, I'll have someone come out.
I've never heard of
God,
this.
some guys rubbed his dick on that stuffed animal. He's taken it out and been like, "Oh, you're using me as a courier, you little bitch. I'm gonna put some sweat on this."
You have just ruined a very convenient thing. Wow,
teddy bear like that.
I mean, I do it like once a week. There's always something. I forgot like my Spider-Man
Absolutely.
costume or whatever. It's he's probably putting it on.
He's putting it on like, "Oh, I look pretty good."
But the one guy was like, "I'm not doing that." He goes, "I take people. I don't take things." And I was like, what the fuck is your problem? But then I was thinking, like, what if that was just like a brick of coke?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right. Oh,
At first
true.
I was like, what the fuck is your problem, man? And then I was like, this is a completely valid thought.
It's this non-labeled box with a code on it that you don't know. And don't worry, it's just a
It'll be
kid's
fine.
toy. It's
You
a
get pulled
child's
over and it's a
toy.
fucking gun.
You're
Yeah.
describing a movie called The Transporter, where I expect Jason Statham carried a pretty hefty fee to drive.
He's getting like, it's $3 tip.
Yeah.
Yeah. He gave me 5 stars for getting a felony trafficking. Yeah.
I've recently discovered the value of Instacart. Like, I was like a DoorDash guy where I'll get like little things
Oh,
delivered.
sure, yeah.
But you can get like because you can go
You can
to
get
like,
a tube of toothpaste. Yeah.
but you can go to like Lowe's now and get like fucking
Oh, they'll give you
like
lumber? Yeah,
like,
lumber.
Like, I mean, I haven't done lumber yet, but I've done I just got a house, so I'm doing a lot of like renovations.
They've delivered a house. I haven't done
But
lumber.
it was like I got like a hose, an extension cord, a pump, like all these things. I got a fucking bucket of baseballs and a bat delivered the other day.
Really?
Yeah, I was just
Wow.
like, I told you I was having that play date with my kid's friend, and I was like, oh shit, I don't have his baseball gear, and it was like too late to go, and I just had.
That's not bad.
And I'm sure I paid, probably paid like $900 for a bucket of balls.
Yeah.
Or whatever, but it's like you can just get everything delivered now.
There's the society is just going to be delivery people and people who get delivered to. Those are the two
That is
races now.
our
That's
dystopian
all there is. That's it.
Yeah, there's no white or black or whatever. It's just, do you get
Are you in
delivered
delivery or
deliver?
do you receive? That's the
all
question
just
we
tops
ask
and bottoms.
everyone. Yeah, that's all it is.
I am a top in this life right now. Sometimes you're a bottom. Who knows?
We were talking about that. We had Cypher Sounds on yesterday, and he was talking about that when he was explaining clubs now. I was like, he's just explaining society.
Yeah.
And I mean, insulting. I was saying that, like, thinking about it.
It was
Oh, like
actually-
his nightclub, going to nightclubs now.
Yeah,
Well,
he's like they're all live plays for 3 people. And he's like, he's explaining the downfall of nightclubs because back when he used to DJ, everyone was on the dance floor and all this stuff, and now it's all
Tables
booths and
and
stuff
booths.
like
Oh,
that.
because you can't afford the booth. You're just
he said really that bottle service is what ruined the club.
Oh,
so he would come in and be like, you got to get rid of those 2 tables. There's like they're on the dance floor, and they'd be like, no, that's for like the VIP, and then it became 4 tables and 8 tables, and it became
oh, no,
booths.
there's no dance floor.
Right, and then it just became
Oh.
like you come and you drop $50,000, so you get girls and bottles, and there's like 2 or 3 people that do that, and then the rest of the people there are just like there to be the entertainment,
Just to
almost.
make it seem like there's a
'Cause-
party going on.
Right. Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
And because like you make another like $5,000 on the rest of the bar buying
But
drinks.
all they care about is
but they
those
just care about those 3
tables.
guys that
Oh,
$150,000 for
shit.
the night. And then when that becomes lame, the promoter has already started at a new club where he's making that cool and building it up, and it just kind of, which actually is interesting. I think if you're the promoter doing that, it's probably pretty cool.
Sure,
where you're like
sure.
a puppet master, but
Yeah.
for the individual,
For the
it's
average
like, these places
people,
fucking
like,
suck.
For people like us who just want to pay $25 for a whiskey Coke.
Well, no, you know what he
It's
said
been
though?
ruined.
He said it used to be you pay $20 to get in, and then they got rid of covers, and they were like, we got to make it on the liquor. I used to hate covers, but knowing that it was like the downfall of fun,
Oh,
I would
yeah.
rather pay $20 and then have the place be like,
Oh, sure.
a fun vibe.
I love yeah, it's great. You
like,
get-
you know,
as
I
long
can
as
just
the
get
beers are
normal drinks.
$3 still,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
great. I love that.
I mean, I'm not looking for sparklers and fake girls and all that shit. Just give me
I remember I got a sparkler once. I got
What's a sparkler?
when
when
come
they
out with
bring out the
sparklers.
bottle with.
Oh, wow, I've never lived
dude.
that life.
I
It's
don't-
super
I-
embarrassing.
I-
I hate. I've never paid for it, but we've done it at Barstool.
And you're supposed to be like, yay!
Yeah, like the girls come
Oh,
out.
No.
They have like a sign with like those. They slide like a marquee almost, and it says like "Happy Birthday, Kevin" or whatever the fuck it is.
Oh,
And the
God.
girls like waving sparklers to be like, "Look at this guy. He's buying expensive liquor, marked up 9,000%." And I'm always just like, "Can you just put the vodka
Oh,
down
wow.
and
That's
go?"
like the rich version of when at Applebee's, the poor
Yes.
servers have to sing happy birthday to you.
It's hibachi.
Yeah,
Happy
right.
birthday,
Oh,
but
wow.
for fucking assholes.
I did it once where it was probably like 10 years ago, and I like could not afford to be there. I could not do it, and I was like, I opened the the bottle list, and like the only thing I could afford was the cheapest one, which was Tito's vodka, which is a $30 bottle of vodka, which was like $300 or whatever. And but like I knew how ridiculous it would look, and I was like, can you just not do anything? Can you just bring me like almost sneak me a bottle of vodka?
And they're like, no, we have to. It's fun.
We have to do it. And I swear to God, I know they did it harder out of spite.
Oh, God.
They would cry.
I don't want this. I just told you not to.
And then they stand there and they pour the drink for you. So the second anyone's done, it's a bottle of vodka. I was with 5 people. It like lasted 20 minutes.
Oh, they stay with you the whole bottle?
They become like your server.
Oh, why? I don't want
I can
that.
do this my fucking
I don't want them to know I'm only pouring a half shot. I don't want my friends to know.
That's what I mean. My main thing is like just make it a little. Just put a lime in there so people think it has vodka.
Say it's a shot, but yeah, I don't need everyone to know I'm a bitch.
I think in this world you are either like you think that's cool or you don't. Whether you have money or don't have money, whether you go to those clubs or don't go to those clubs, I think you're either a person that's like, yes, please show the world that I bought a $5,000 bottle of champagne.
Conspicuous consumption.
Yeah, I'm like, I cannot imagine.
I can't wait in the line.
Billionaire. I actually think it's the other way around. Like, I feel like if I was broke, but I saved up for one big night, I'd be like, let's fucking
it's like
celebrate this. But if you have money, you want this girl being like, you bought a vodka. You know, it's like,
actual billionaires are at the club in sweatpants, just like in the back, just like kill him. They're not asking for a bottle. They're like, buy his company, buy his company. He looked at my girl weird. Buy what he does.
That's why I almost feel like he's jumping the shark a little bit, but I hope he's not. Because my goal in life is Adam Sandler, but I feel like he's almost becoming it's like a thing.
Oh, really?
Like every time he's like, it's like, oh, Adam Sandler wore sweatpants to the country club, and like the first time it was like, wow, that's kind of cool, and now it's like every time he does it, it goes viral, and every time he plays,
you're like
basketball,
maybe he doesn't know how to dress himself or something.
But I don't think it's his fault that it's not.
I believe he's from Manchester, New Hampshire, and
really?
And,
okay,
I think he was born. I think he grew up in the city.
Or not?
No, that's an opioid-ridden fentanyl town. Yeah,
like,
that's a bad.
He's staying true to his roots.
That's like where white homeless people are born, and then they spread out. They teach their fellow whites like that's the miners of homeless white people. Oh, you couldn't make it in New York, buddy. You're not good enough.
Proliferate into the world.
You're not good enough at Wonderwall yet. You're not good at busking yet. Stay in Manchester.
He got like I feel so bad for him because like people will like naturally be like, it's getting to be a little much, and he's like, I didn't ask for any of this ever.
I don't ever want the videos. I just want to play basketball.
Right,
I want to play basketball in a polo shirt. Like
that's true.
But
I
think and I was thinking about this the other day because outside of Barstool and even inside of Barstool pretty frequently, I'm usually wearing like sweatpants, lounge pants, whatever.
It's great. Be comfortable.
And it got especially during COVID. I have I have 2 kids, 7 and 6. Mm-hmm. So they were kind of coming of age during COVID as well. And there was a period of time where like they'd be like, "I've never seen you wear jeans, Dad." and like my kids' nannies, like if I wear like anything even remotely more than like a hoodie or a t-shirt, she's like, we're
dressing up today. Yeah,
and I was like, I'm such a piece of shit. But then it comes out the
like,
other
we missed
side.
Dad's dick print. We missed that. Dad's packing.
You're just like tearing down my life. All these things I do surrounding my kids. I'm like, I can't do any of this anymore.
Like, why is he hard? It's noon. Morningwood should be over, Dad.
But I think you come out the other side, like, it's like him in sweatpants all the time is a flex. You in sweatpants all the time, you're a bum.
Right.
You got to be like
certain level.
ultra successful.
Yeah, I don't wonder what the amount of money is.
He has like 400. He has like big.
He's got to be close to $1 billionaire, right?
I think it was like $400 million a few years ago, and it's he's done like 10 Netflix
they
movies
made
that
Grown Up
number
7.
One.
Yeah, they're doing
his new
fine.
movie is just like his family's in it.
Yeah,
it's just like his daughter is the star.
Really? It's just the
except
Sandler?
I don't think it's his wife.
I don't know who his wife is. I have no idea.
It's not. I mean, the girl is Idina Menzel. He's not married to her. Right?
No,
so
no.
But he just has like his teenage daughter in it, and actually, I mean, it looks like a cute, coming of age girl, teenager.
Sure.
It's not for like us, but
he makes like 5 a year, and one of them's great. That's what he does.
And the rest
he pumps them
keep
out.
the register ringing.
Yeah,
and
Jack
like,
and Jill. We don't see that, but yeah,
best life ever. He is like
he's great,
and it's crazy. But like, I feel like here in New York, you're like, oh, like it's the Stanley again. Like you said, he'll do like 4 or 5 where he marries Jennifer Aniston in the Caribbean. And
Yeah.
then he's like, by the way,
Literally that every time.
and then he'll do like Uncut Gems and be like, by the way, I'm fucking awesome
I
at
can
this.
flex
Just so
on
you
you.
know.
I think he just wants to get
basketball one was
filmed
great.
fucking these hot actresses. He's like, I haven't done one with Jennifer Aniston. Let's write it. Chat
got,
GPT.
But
He
I
got
read
Kanye's chick before she went crazy when she was super hot in Uncut Gems.
Oh,
Julia
yeah.
Fox, that's right.
She was
Right,
so
yeah.
hot. I was like, Sandman.
That's
good
right.
casting.
Oh, that movie rocks.
I was reading like an article on Netflix and like all the watching and stuff. This is years ago, so it's not like part of the strike thing. And the CEO of Netflix was like, the only thing anyone watches in every country is Adam Sandler. It
Really?
was like it's like
That's
every
universal?
country's like Brazil's and the Philippines, like if you look what actor has the most watch minutes, it's Adam Sandler everywhere.
Really?
Yeah, I had
That's
no
crazy.
idea.
He does that.
I guess it's like very like it goes across languages. I'm sure
Totally.
it's
Yeah.
very physical humor. He's just making noises,
Yeah.
which is like funny. It's funny. Why-
It's very-
That's what we all want. We're all just monkeys.
Yeah.
We just want a guy to slip on a banana peel. That's
Yeah.
funnier than any joke anyone's written.
I saw an article the other day that was like bring back funny, and it wasn't like not one of those like the death of comedy type deals, but it was just like it was a pro. It was really that was just a headline for I think you should leave.
Oh, sure.
Article. And it was like there's no it's just dumb, and I was like, yeah, that is
Yeah,
nice.
there's no point. There's
right,
no
no
message. I
Underlying,
missed that.
blah blah blah. It's just like, yeah, I'm gonna put on this fucking costume and like grunt. And, you know,
There are, yeah.
I'm gonna. I mean, I actually didn't like care for the newest season.
They
but
do just yell a lot.
Well,
it is
well-
just every scene is them
there's just
yelling.
Yeah.
And I felt there was a lot of that. But then I came in here and I started to be like, I didn't like this skit and that skit, and he was kind of like, I don't know, that was kind of funny when they were yelling, and I was like, I guess it is.
It is funny.
You know, yeah.
It's also the only game in town too. There's
Yeah.
no other
Yes,
thing. There's
yes,
no other
yes.
sketch show like that.
I
love
think
them.
I think there's a sketch show renaissance.
I think
going
it's
on
coming.
right
I
now.
think like comedies are gonna come back too. I
dude,
think we're gonna have a
I-
hangover type of comedy
if we could just like somehow be a part of that, like if I would love the legacy to be that like this generation of all of us, whether you're stand up or Barstool or whatever, if we could bring back comedy before
now
we
that
die,
we've made every race and demographic of the Hangover movie, I feel like they've made every version. Like this is the Asian Hangover.
Yeah.
This is the
I
black
watched it,
Hangover.
But I just watched it.
I heard it's good.
It's awesome.
I'm sure it's good, but maybe
I
let's.
did. Dude, there's a scene there. Fucking 4 girls are just putting coke up their ass, and
Yeah,
it gets wild.
It's fun.
One
It's
girl,
fun.
I mean, there's a full pussy shot in it at one point with a tattoo.
Okay,
There's
comedy's
some-
back.
Yeah.
Comedy's back. Okay.
Yeah.
Take back
I
what
actually
said.
wasn't paying attention during that, and I felt weird rewinding, so I haven't seen it. I was like, I got it, and I was like looking at my phone or something. I looked up, and I was like,
There's a threesome in it.
I was like,
There's a
I
lot
think I
of
know what
bullshit.
happened.
The algorithm's like, he really likes the pussy shot. I guess that's what we're gonna send him now. Yeah. Okay.
Have you figured out Daisy Jones yet?
No.
This is my favorite thing. He told me this on the last podcast. It's my favorite. Like this is almost feels like a skit itself. Have you heard that show Daisy Jones and the Six?
Oh yeah, it's like a band.
It's
like a band. Yeah.
I think it's like a Fleetwood Mac-esque.
Sure,
story.
sure.
But his parents watched episode 1 till like 59 minutes and 59 seconds. It's
You
like
know how it
stops
just
right
starts
there.
like next episode,
Oh,
so it
yeah.
doesn't technically finish.
Yeah.
So when he clicks watch episode, he can't quick enough to stop it and rewind.
Oh, so
And he
you
just
can't
goes to
watch
episode 2,
it?
so he can't watch episode 1. So he's like, I really want to watch Daisy Jones, but I literally can't. And I'm just thinking of him like every
That's
night he goes
so
home and
funny.
fights his Amazon Prime and he loses.
You're like ready. You're like all zenned up.
he's-
Like I'm gonna do it this time. I got it.
It's like video games. You're like,
sit
I
up
can't
on
click
the edge
fast
You're like
enough.
practicing reflex techniques on like.
I'm
Like,
sure there's a way to do it, and I could like. I'm
Undoubtedly.
sure
Yeah.
someone's watching me like you fucking. But like 3 to 5 times, I'll try like once or twice. I'm like, fuck, I'm not doing it. And then like a week later, I'm like, I'm gonna try this again.
He's like, I've gotten into transcendental meditation just so my brain is quick enough to react to this. I love that.
My parents don't know that they are on my
Ruined it for
prime,
you. Oh.
and
That's
so,
a dangerous game to play. You start
the
watching some
parents are
weird
on
shit.
your prime. I like that. That's
Yeah.
a switch of the role
Fucking
reversal.
boomers.
Yeah,
It's just
Fucking
the
boomers.
TV. They do their own prime like for buying stuff, but it's just the TV at home. They moved into their house. They didn't have like the Prime app, and I just downloaded it and signed it on my own. And every once in a while, I'll get an email like, "You just ordered blank movie," and I'll be like, All right. Well, that's one book for free. And I'm slowly building back to be like, guess what? You guys owe me money now.
There we go. Nice.
Do you think, to go back to the comedy thing, I feel like you're kind of like next up. I feel like your time has like arrived.
I hope so.
The special
God,
dropped
I hope so.
and is doing well. You were on our first
the
Dollar
show.
Slices.
Have you done another one since then?
Not yet.
Not yet.
We're-
How did you like that?
It was fun. I think I would change my set a little bit. I think they didn't want. I think I was a little too serious for them.
That's
Maybe
what
a little bit.
I love
They
it.
flamed me on the Instagram. The clips that got posted, they're like, "This guy fucking sucks."
Our fan base.
I love it.
Dude,
I think it's funny.
Our
I know.
fans like hate us the most. Like
Yeah,
they are absolutely. The most toxic fan
that's
base
kind of
on
the
internet.
like the frat. They are haters. They're haters.
There definitely is. If I could change one thing, I wish we had a more encouraging.
Men can't compliment men. It's gay. It's gay.
You are a
we can't be like
faggot.
funny joke, dude.
Yeah,
Oh,
totally.
you want to fuck me next?
But I
Yeah.
almost like you're. I made a very gay 1 Minute Man video that I do the other day. And, and it was over the top gay, and the comments were like, "What the fuck is this?" They weren't even like the usual like "you're gay, dude." It was almost just like, "Wait, what's going on?"
Whoa, is Bud Light
Do
the
I
new
have-
sponsor?
Yes, it was very fun. I was like, I'm gonna do it again now.
Yeah, you gotta lean
But
into it.
I'm like nerding out for this Dollar Slices thing because I like that night was like a little uncomfortable for like everybody.
I liked
and
it,
I kind
though.
of like it.
No,
like,
I think you gotta sometimes people. I don't know if they're. Do you think the people there had been to a lot of comedy shows before?
yeah,
I feel like
think-
half and half,
I think they
probably.
go to like live podcasts. They know
Yeah.
Barstool. They've probably seen like a Bill Burr special. But they
Sure.
don't- so like they're kind of new to the comedy game, and you guys were new to our audience, and it was like grimy and gritty. And I was like, this.
I think it's
is
kind of fun to
cool.
like. You just gotta ram it down. I got him eventually, but you kind of just had to just keep nailing the nail into their nose
but
or
you like
whatever.
called it out kind of.
You had to call them out like you guys are stupid.
Yes,
And they're like,
yes.
they're like, no, we're not stupid. It's like a dumb monkey trick.
Yes.
Like if you tell someone stupid, like, no, I'm actually really smart. And then they start laughing at things they think are smart. It's a great
Yeah, you almost
trick.
trick them into
it's
fucking
a psychology
laughing.
trick.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, everybody was great that night, but I did think you like shined the brightest, and that's kind of
Oh,
the hope
thank
is
you.
that like every week or every time we do it, like one person
Sure,
shines.
sure.
And, you know, one day if people sign here or we produce specials or whatever, it can be like this
Yeah,
pipeline.
yeah.
But for the first one, it was like. I thought it was just very cool watching that. Like I loved that you were like, Barstool, you guys are fucking dumb. You don't get that joke. Like you'll go home and Google it. You'll get it. Like, it was good.
It
I
was
like
one of
that.
those sets where I was like, I would be in my mind crushing, and then it would come to complete silence, and then I'd come back,
You know, oddly
which are
enough,
kind of fun.
I don't know if this is a thing, but we've Sam Talent opened for one of our live podcasts, which is always sometimes we've done openers and sometimes we have.
That can be weird because they probably don't expect stand-up to come.
And like sometimes they literally just.
They're like, "Is this the tech guy? Why is he at the mic? What's
sometimes
going
they're
on?"
even just coming. They want to just take a fucking picture with us. They don't even care about the podcast, let alone.
Sure,
And
they're
then
like,
Sam is like a cerebral
Oh,
assassin.
he's so funny.
He's like playing 3 levels above us, and we're 3 levels above them. So it's like he's literally performing from monkeys at this point.
Yeah.
But he said the same thing that like our crowd does. They laugh and stop. They laugh and stop,
Yeah.
and there's no like rolling. And I've
I'm
heard
not
that a
gonna
couple
let another
times.
man bring me joy.
Probably what it is.
It's like the crowd when they bring their girlfriend with. They're like, "You're laughing at this, honey? This man's
funny?
cucking me right now. I'm being cucked right now by joy. Cucked by joy. Don't laugh at him, babe. You never laugh at me like that.
That is I've told this before. That is like the one thing I ever get jealous about.
When the guy can
funnier
make
than
a
you?
girl laugh.
Like, dude, a girl who I was like never romantically involved with, no, just like been a friend forever. And her mom, I talked to her mom, and her mom recently called me, and she's like, "Have you met her new boyfriend?" And I was like, "No, I haven't." She's like, "He's so funny."
It's Matt Wright. Damn it.
That's a nightmare.
Yeah, that would be a
I was like, whoa. Hang on a second. I do
funny guy.
the jokes around.
yeah. Was he funny? Was he actually? He was like,
He's very funny. I
hate
think I'm
that.
funnier, but he's a funny guy.
yeah. I hate meeting people who are funny who don't do like stand-up or podcasting for a living.
Right.
I'm like, oh, you're just funny and you don't
Naturally.
need the attention.
Right.
You don't have this like debilitating
well-adjusted
need
mentally.
for the spotlight like I do. You don't have to make a bit in every moment at Walgreens with the cashier just to feel alive. You're just like funny when you want to be. I hate those people.
You're emotionally like you're just an adult.
Yeah,
a
you're
mature
emotionally
adult.
stable.
Great,
You don't
yeah.
need a dopamine
Fuck
rush to
you.
keep the gun out of your mouth. Like, oh, good for you. Oh,
Kevin has said that like about everyone's group of friends, and like I think in particular my group of friends are like the funniest people. And
Sure.
I saw Kyle Kinane on a clip where he's on a podcast talking about like any comedian who like thinks highly of themselves. He's like, you're not even one of the 5 funniest of your friends.
Yeah.
So like, why don't you fucking tone down with your
Sure,
attitude?
sure.
I mean, so much of when I started Barstool, we were blogging, and so when you're writing, you kind of have like a very specific voice that like
Sure.
people get accustomed to, and it was all like an amalgam of like that. Like I took that one-liner from my friend. This is like his personality.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
and they were all funnier than me, and I was just like the nerd who wanted to put it into a website.
You were the one who was willing to
So-
write it down. Yeah, that's
but I'm
really
like,
what it
if
comes
you
down
fuckers
to.
did it, like
You're the disciples.
I tell my yeah, for real. I tell my whole crew of friends, like, I was like, you all could have been foreplay. You all golf and you're all
Wow.
funny, and they have 1 billion views now, and they're great. But like, you could have done it before them.
They
when I
just
started,
chose
you
to
just
sell
didn't-
insurance
Yeah.
or whatever.
Literally,
Yeah.
nailed it. Like, yep, they're
That's
selling
what they
insurance.
wanted
so.
to do. That's fun.
That night was also great. Sean Gardini went up.
Oh,
Right
yeah.
after we had a trans comic.
Oh,
and
after
then,
yeah,
and he
after
followed
Sabrina,
with
yeah.
just like all trans material.
Yeah, I don't know if he was
And-
doing that to like
I-
dig in, or that was just the set he has. Like, wow, I really got fucked tonight.
I think it's the latter.
I think it was
just
the
like,
latter
you gotta
too.
be fucking kidding
He's
me.
like, God, during my trans month of writing, I'm writing only trans jokes. I think the crowd was like, is he mad at them? Does he hate them? Sabrina?
I thought
I was
not
laughing.
thinking like that way. So I was just laughing. But afterwards, he was like, I want to put a gun in my mouth.
Yeah, yeah.
But even that, I was like, I love all of this. I love
Yeah.
that kind of went south.
Oh,
love
I like
that,
the uncomfortable. That's
yeah.
what makes me laugh the most.
Totally.
When someone's funny, I'm like, whatever, dude. I don't care. I
Right.
like when they're making people squirm
Yes,
a little bit. That's what
yeah,
makes
that's
me
kinda
laugh.
I feel like there's levels to it, and the first one is like make people laugh, and probably the second one is like getting that uncomfortability, and then
Yeah.
third is where you just really start
When you
playing
can mix
around
it
with
all,
of
yeah.
you know.
If
But
you can
that-
make the comics laugh in the back, I
Yeah.
feel like
And,
I'll
like,
enjoy that.
I think I would if I had to boil it down to one thing, I think what separates like comics from like like normies
Yeah.
is like if a normal person were to bomb in a setting of like giving a speech or a
Oh,
presentation
yeah.
or whatever, they would like quit their job.
They would
and kill
never
themselves.
give
They
a
would
speech
never
again.
Do it
Yeah,
again.
exactly.
They would change career paths. You know?
Right,
And
yeah.
comics are like, I do this every night.
Right,
Like,
right.
Because it
That
really
used
is
to be
funny
me.
that,
I used to cry on stage.
I don't know how to do it, man.
I
Like,
would. One time I started crying mid bomb,
No.
and I
You
just
cried?
ran off stage and ran home.
No
yeah.
way.
Yeah. I literally just walked and just started like sprinting home.
What,
yeah.
what was it a club? or
No, it
like
was in Madison, Wisconsin, where I went to college. It was at this bar, open mic in the basement, the Argus bar, and I just was like, "I'm out. Jeff's out,"
Bro,
because I had made this like
Jeff's
big.
out.
Jeff's gone. I was kind of known as like throwing fits. I like my first couple of years. I was like, "Oh, Jeff had a bomb. Don't talk to him tonight. He's gonna throw his fucking notebook against the wall or something." I was a huge baby
Yo,
about
that's
it.
so
Yeah.
great that like because like I said, your special's out. I think you're really like on the precipice. So there's gonna be somebody when you're on like Netflix being like, I watched that guy cry and run home,
Yeah.
and now he's got like a $20 million Netflix deal.
He
What?
cried because his little prop bit he made. And I used to do like prop comedy, and they didn't like the prop I made. And I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna go to grad school.
Yo, please put that in like a pilot of a TV show.
I
or
should.
something.
It was
running
really
running out with like your like balloon animal or whatever has got to be.
with like, and it was just like it's open mics are just all comics, so it's 12 of the saddest
What the fuck,
white
dude?
men
Yeah.
to ever live, and they're like, what the fuck? We're all sad, buddy. Grow up.
We all want to cry.
Yeah.
We don't actually.
We don't do it. We
Yeah.
do it at home. Yeah,
that's
it's embarrassing.
fucking great. I mean, I that bombing is like it's literally people's like deepest fears. I
It
feel
is,
like,
yeah.
you know,
it's like people fear it
public
more than
speaking and all
death.
that.
They say,
I
yeah, it's
I
crazy.
had to give like a little talk to the company the other day.
Yeah.
And I like bombed it. It wasn't like I performed, but I was just
Yeah.
I did not do that well.
Right,
and
right.
It ate at me for like 2 weeks.
Really?
And it was just
Yeah.
like I was just
Yeah.
kind of like, so guys, if you wanna come talk to me about things, I'll be in my office. It was just like that.
Sure,
And I
sure.
felt like I did shitty.
I
and
just
was like,
didn't-
oh my god. I
They
can't
didn't believe in me.
that.
They didn't believe in me. Well, it's better to be the guy who agonizes for 2 weeks than the guy. There's people who bomb and they're like, I had a great set.
Yeah, that's true.
Best set of the night. No one laughs, but I guess
Self-awareness,
they
man.
just didn't get me.
They
Yeah,
don't have-
that I can't stand.
That's a great point.
Because I am so self-aware. I'm immediately like, oh, that was a B. Didn't do
Mm-hmm.
my best. Some people like kill every time in their mind. In their mind.
The comic, I almost think I feel like I've seen it less and less. So I hope maybe the industry has evolved out of it a little bit. But there was a run there where every joke that bombed. Oh, you're one of those crowds, huh?
Oh,
you guys,
yeah.
you can't
Too
take
sensitive.
You're PC crowds. Like,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
joke fucking
Yeah,
sucked,
I
dude.
get so mad about
Oh,
that. I think that's
not
going
us,
away.
it's-
That's
yeah.
going away.
And I'm sure there are times where you run into
There
a
are
bad
times,
crowd,
but, like-
it's not every time, dude.
Sure. I do like jokes about child porn that kill. It's like you can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
You gotta be good.
It's funny. It's
Yeah.
funny. Like just like
I remember
don't blame
going
the
to
audience.
like during the pandemic. I was going to like they're doing them like in the bars and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
And there was just like the one guy who was just like, I forget. He's like, oh, come out, like I'll fuck your mother or whatever. I forget what he said.
Sure.
But- and like no one laughed. And he's like, oh, if you guys don't laugh at that, you're in for a long night. A lot more of those jokes coming your way. Like,
Yeah.
please no.
Yeah, can you pivot?
Yeah.
Other jokes?
A guy's like, and then my dad raped my dog. Oh, sensitive crowd tonight, I guess. Huh. You guys are like dog rape material? Oh, a bunch of PC liberals. Come on, man.
We were at the Comedy Store out in LA last year, and he was screaming. Remember that? He was
Yeah.
like, "I'm killing! I am killing right now,
Oh,
and
yeah.
only this side of the room is getting it." Like, and I was like, "Bro, it was the closest I've ever been. I would never in a million years like heckle or say
Right.
anything. I'm always just like, And I almost wanted to stand up and be like, "Sir, you're obviously incorrect."
You are bad tonight. It's okay.
It is. And,
You
but-
might
but
be good
also
tomorrow.
It was like a veteran, and I remember like talking to some people afterwards, and they were like, "Oh, he does that every night." And I was like,
Oh,
"What?"
yeah. Some people do
What?
like
That's
plan
like-
breakdowns.
Oh my
yeah,
God,
it
it
is
was crazy.
That's what people don't see about comedy. They always think like, "Oh, this show is so unique and special." Don't see them every night.
Right.
We're doing the same crowd work bits with every couple in the front.
I think
Everyone has. Not everyone's doing that, but everyone has a little like stock lines they're
Totally.
using, and
Well,
that's like fine.
Also, true crowd work where, obviously there was no way you could know if that person was gonna be in the crowd. Like, some of that shit's amazing. But when it's like, when your crowd work is about a couple,
Yeah.
it's like that was
You
just
can
a joke.
throw-
about, you can just say, "Oh, there's a couple here tonight," and it looks like crowd work, but you're just gonna,
The audience
and-
is really easy to trick.
Yeah.
That's why the crowd work clips going viral. I'm like, if they only knew.
Well,
if they only knew these.
even as a
Do you know? Can you tell that there a lot of them are stock lines? Not all of it.
Yeah,
but.
like if it's something completely out of the ordinary, where it's like there's no way he knew that like the guy's mother was dead or something.
Yeah,
and
that,
on
sure.
his feet, like awesome. But when it's like, oh, there's a black guy in the crowd, and you do like a generic black joke.
Sure,
it's like,
yeah. How did he ever think of being
all you-
racist on the spot?
It's like all you needed that you walk out there like, I hope there's one black person.
Yeah.
And I can do my crowd work. And now for us, like I follow a million of you guys, so
Sure.
it's constant crowd work
it's
clips.
constant.
And I'm like, in the beginning, I was like, this is amazing. These guys are all like freestyling,
Sure.
And then I was like, oh, wait a minute.
Then you see the same thing. Like I've
Yeah.
noticed I posted a clip of this also. Someone's birth control alarm goes off during the show. I posted one like a year ago. Now, since then, 20 other people have had someone's birth control alarm go off. And it's like, we're all just doing the same
And
responses.
also, like,
it can be
can't knock
funny.
the hustle.
It's
Yeah,
not
like,
bad. I
no.
get it, but it is
But it's
an
also
interest.
it's a little bit like magician.
It's like, oh, is this your wife? Oh, it's your daughter? And then something,
Yeah.
whoa,
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah. That's just what I do it
That-
every week. But
Speaking of the genuine though, in your new special, The Only Funny White Man.
The Only Funny White Man. Please watch.
Comanta being there.
Oh, that was crazy. The black guy with the crazy name.
I've
That
never
was
heard
fun. That's a great name.
Something you can't.
That's
you know.
that was perfect.
If
That was
you somehow
perfect.
planted that, like a round of applause, sir. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm hitting on Carl. I've never planted anything. It's all original every time. Yes, don't. Yeah, that was crazy. That guy was there. That was a fun time.
Was just the special, like how long was that material? Like
I did an audio album like 3 years ago, and then I realized that audio is something we did in the 90s, and so I reused about half the jokes from that probably.
Okay.
But it's jokes I've been doing since 2015. A lot of it.
Which
I feel like a lot of stand-up's first special is the culmination of their
totally.
first 7 or 8 years of
Yeah,
comedy.
and
Usually it's one of the better specials.
I think we went through a run recently that I'm not knocking it because I can never do it, but like there was a run of like specials were like COVID jokes and Trump jokes.
Yeah,
and it was
yeah.
like, I can't ever like even rewatch this,
Yeah,
I
it's
almost
like
a special should be like evergreen as much as it can
For
be in a way,
sure.
and it's like timeless, and it was just like, boy, another like on Netflix or like a big thing. It's like you start out, hey, we're all back outside, and it's like, oh my god,
I'm shocked
really?
at how many
Like,
people still do that. Though.
Still, it's been 4
I
years.
see it at the cellar sometimes. Like, glad to be out again. It's like, buddy, I've been out for 2.5 years.
Seriously.
Really 3 if we're being honest.
we reopened like 6 months into
Yeah,
this thing.
I was
don't
playing
know.
poker April 2020 with friends. Like, I never really left. Yeah.
Do you feel like there's a? I feel like it's definitely like a golden era.
Oh, it's the best. Stand-up's the best it's ever been.
But is it also? Is there a lot of like, is there amateurs like rookies that you're like, oh my god?
I think the good and bad about social media is it gets a lot of like people who like someone like Jessica Curson has been doing comedy for 20 years, and she was like big, but like now she's like going to the stratosphere as she deserves because she's a genius.
Right.
But that's good that social media is getting those people out there, but it's also getting a lot of open mic people who they're just hot. It's a lot of hot people. That's really what the algorithm just looks at your jawline. And it's like, okay, this is going viral today, and I have 2 moles on my face, and that holds me back, and I know that. And I know that one day I'll afford to get them removed, and I'll be Matt Rife and me at the stadium. Yeah. There's a lot of great comedy, but there's a lot of good and bad. It's a bubble.
I feel like when we do our shows, we will be at like famous comedy clubs, but it's like we are here to do a live podcast. We're not like stand-ups. We're not doing stand-up comedy. Almost kind of like very. Like I just want it to be clear that we don't think we're.
Oh, we don't think you're a comic.
Like we're using your room because
Right.
like there's not many spaces like this. But like I'm, sometimes they're like. Louis C.K. was here last week, and I'm like, that's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, that's
we should
right.
be on the same stage.
Right,
but, I don't know.
right.
This is a place in town that holds 300 people, and like,
Do I have to watch someone jack off before I get up here? Yeah, is that the price of admission? Yeah,
but like, I could see, if I was really a stand-up and I was waiting for my time slot, and there was just like clearly.
There's just a lot of like Instagram models who happen to talk and have a
like,
good butt.
off.
Yeah, it's a lot of that. But there's great. It's all good and bad. There's so much good comedy and so much bad.
I also think the
can't
more
get
time you
mad.
spend being bitter about it, it's like I don't know. Yeah,
There's-
breaking news: the hot girl is gonna get a leg up. Like no fucking.
It
kidding.
also doesn't take anything away from you that someone else is being successful.
Right.
I used to be so bitter, and then I'm like, there's 500 comedy clubs. If that guy gets booked, I'll get booked at another one.
And
it
especially
doesn't
with
matter.
the internet too. It's
and
like
the internet now, people
I'll
will
just put my
find you.
special on YouTube.
Yeah,
and-
exactly. They'll find your corner. And also, like, I think the like people who suck at comedy, it's a short con.
Yeah.
In the end, you do have to be good at comedy, and in the end, I think the cream does rise. You just have to wait it
let
out.
them have their 12 month
Yeah,
run or whatever,
exactly. And then
see you later.
people go to a show, and I this happens a lot after shows. People are like, oh, I saw so and so last month, like some TikTok comic, like pretty bad show. So they're like, we're not gonna go back. So it's like
You get one and done.
One and done, exactly. The bubble bursts. Exactly.
I'd certainly, when I like finally had that realization, which was years and years too late. Not even about comedy, just about like the internet, where it's like that, it's just like this can't last, and it's just like they'll happen in a second. Then
Yeah,
just relax.
It's not like the
Take a
algorithm
breath,
has like
John.
12 people a day go viral. It's like, no, we can all go viral. It's like possible.
I think once you've like I've been doing Barstool since 2009, so like when it was 2010, 11, 12 and I saw like teenagers making millions, I was like fucking bitter about it. But then because I haven't done it long enough. But like once you have done it long
You
enough,
waited it
realize that
out
people,
and
but
made
you
it
have
good.
You do have to get there to wait it out long enough
Right.
for you to be comfortable with it. So like it's just a matter.
But
of
you've probably
time.
seen a lot of those people just they don't do it anymore.
Right, and maybe at their, they probably still have more money than I ever will because at their peak they killed it.
Sure.
They're gone now.
Right,
and
right.
I take pride in the fact that we're still doing it. Maybe not
Exactly.
ever at their level, but we just kept on going. But until you can say I've been doing it for 10, 12, 15 years, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
But-
I think you got to do stand-up for at least 10 years before I really am like, oh, you're a great comic.
I don't
There's
know how you
exceptions,
guys,
but
the patience is crazy. 'Cause
yeah. I mean, I didn't get paid. I didn't make any money for like 4 years, at least 4
That
years.
is-
Probably.
What were you doing?
I was like a teacher, kind of. I was like a summer camp counselor. I would be
two very different things.
well, during the
teacher or camp
the
counselor?
school year, I was like a tutor, after school tutor, like
Okay.
teacher maybe, and then during the summer, I was like a camp
Okay,
counselor.
I didn't realize you were in
So
school,
at the summer, I was or at night during the summer, I'd be talking about cum till 2 a.m.
Yeah,
and then in the morning, I'm like, who wants to play freeze tag? Just like bleary eyed off of an 8 old fashioned night. Yeah. Just like,
Dude, I always talk about that, like when we were in camp, like, and when we were camp counselors, like I was a camp counselor probably like I was probably 18, 19, something like
such
that.
a fun job.
So-
Such a fun
You were
time.
allowed to abuse children physically.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You could be like, no, stop that. Stop that.
I'd be like, whatever a kid would annoy me, I'd be like, "That's it, we're playing dodgeball."
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. No, rule set hit Johnny in the head. That's the name of the game today. Yeah, exactly.
I would say I did it when I was even younger. When I was probably like 16, I would do summer hockey camps, and like. I mean, plenty of times where a kid just pissed me off and I just like fire a puck across the ice. And, like,
That's a good feeling. I feel like the kids were always like, why is Mr. Jeff wearing shades every day?
Yo, did
It's
you ever eat
raining.
dead fish?
You don't realize that like all your teachers, counselors,
Oh, they were
they're
all hungover.
Like,
I hang out with teachers where we'll be out on a Tuesday night. They're partying. I was like, they taught us long division the next day. They were out trying to get some dick at 2 a.m. Yeah, she's
got like a.
She woke up at another guy's house,
Yes.
just like, oh, I gotta teach the kids about
Coke
the
in her nose,
Constitution
she's
today.
hungover.
Yeah,
cum dripping out.
yeah, it's
She's
amazing.
like, open up your textbooks to section 3.
yeah.
We used to play this game called Dead Fish when we were like really hungover.
Okay.
And it was just like
Lay down
the
and
kids would just
dead.
lay down, and if you moved, you lost. but we'd be like, all right, you
Genius.
get a chance.
Yeah.
Just keep.
We've been laying down for 45 minutes, dude.
And I remember one time we were playing Dead Fish, so hungover, and we're just sitting on the park bench, like in Newport, Rhode Island, like hungover, and like these kids are just laying there, and the girl just looks over at me and she goes, "You want to see how much I can deep throat a pen?"
Oh,
And I was like, Yeah. So
This is one of the 8-year-olds, right?
this girl's just sticking a pen down her throat. It's
Jesus
like
Christ.
15, 20 kids are asleep. And I was like, pretty good. You weren't lying. You could deep throat a pen.
Wow.
Collect your
The
check. at
things
the end
you
of the day.
learn.
Yeah.
Easy
When
living.
parents show up. How are the kids? They were amazing.
Are you from Is that by Providence, Newport?
Yeah, it's about
Oh.
20 minutes away.
Oh, okay, I just did my first show in Providence like a week ago.
Did you?
I like it. Fun town.
Providence is very fun.
Fun
Providence
little
can be dangerous.
post-mafia town.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like
exactly.
that. It's the last bastion of the mafia.
Yeah, we just had a guy get the shit beat out of him in Providence.
Really?
Just like got his face caved in.
Whoa.
Big time cave. It was hilarious.
Mafia hit?
I think it was just a mentally ill homeless man.
Oh, not as fun. I love the mafia. I loved it. I was looking up I always look up the history of towns when I go there. Your mayor, Buddy, what's his
Buddy
name?
Cianci.
Buddy Cianci was
Yeah.
like this
What a name.
He was the mayor. Then he got arrested for a guy who was. His ex-wife was hooking up with a guy and he got him tortured and kidnapped. So he went to jail. Then he got elected mayor again. 27 counts of racketeering, went to jail. Then he got elected again.
That's
just a legend. He came back again and again.
Yo,
Buddy Cianci.
the people-
Come on.
The people have
I
spoken.
forgot about
Yeah,
Buddy.
I love that
Like,
shit.
yo, okay, he fucking tortured that guy, but like, crime was down and money was good.
And he sold his own like marinara sauce. The mayor's hot sauce or something like that. I love it.
It was when what? See, I
It was
remember
like the
hearing
80s and 90s.
90s. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was when I was younger, but it's a hard name to forget, Buddy Cianci.
I love that
And then
shit. I
I'm
love
from-
corruption.
I'm from a
I
town
love
called
it.
Fall River, which is like
Oh, wait, people were making fun of that at the show. That was like the shitty town.
Yes.
They're like, that's
Don't
the
you have a
Portuguese
crazy-
ghetto.
The Portuguese-
Yeah.
Bro, I had to quit soccer when I was a kid because the kids wouldn't speak to me in English.
Oh, really?
I was like, I don't what is they won't talk to me.
Like Gringo Malo.
Wasn't there a corrupt politician in
Dude, do.
Fall
So
River?
we had like
Yeah.
it was almost like we trying to be Junior Providence, where there was one mayor who like he got I'm gonna mess up everything, but it was like one mayor got voted out or whatever, and then a new mayor came in and he kind of did like his mafia type deal where like it was actually almost so fake stereotypical mafia. Like he called like. Again, I'm gonna mess everything up exactly what it was, but he called like a fucking state rep to meet him down by the docks one night and like put a gun on the dashboard and was like, "You better vote with me." Yeah. And then so he got fucking I don't know,
impeached. He got out of there. Yeah.
And then the next guy was just it was like he's like a 21-year-old kid, like he was really young. Jessael Carrera, I believe his name was, and. He was just taking. It was right when weed got legalized.
Oh yeah.
So he was just taking bribes from everybody.
Hell yeah.
And giving everyone a weed shop.
I love that.
And then he got impeached. I think he's in jail or going to jail.
Well,
but he was
say,
spending.
as long as you don't go to jail, it's like get that money, and it's like, oh no, I'm no longer the mayor of Fall River.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I got a duffel bag of
right.
$200,000 cash.
It's also like we're mad at these guys for taking bribes. Yeah, they're all taking bribes.
Yeah,
these guys were just bad
That's
at
why
it.
you
He
Yeah.
was just
Politics.
21.
Yeah, that's the
he
whole
didn't have the
point.
natural arc to learn how to do it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm a politician, climate change isn't real because ExxonMobil will pay me $3 million. Yeah, of course. Why would I not believe that? Of course.
Whatever you want, man.
insane.
He was so bad at hiding it, where it was like, I think his salary was like $150,000 a year or whatever, something like that.
Yeah.
And like he had like a $200,000 watch.
Right.
It was like you can't.
Right.
It was a gift from the constituents. Yeah. They love me.
Well, that's the
When I was-
you need that Johnny Manziel fucking backstory.
Yeah,
to watch that
yeah.
money.
Oh, did the thing just happen? His doc just came out. Did you guys? Was it good?
There was one really good thing, is what I was referencing. The rest of it is like if you followed him, like you basically
He
knew
just
all of
partied
it.
too much.
But
yeah.
he was signing autographs and making like tens of thousands of dollars. And obviously, when you're an amateur, you're not allowed to. Have that money. So
Gotcha.
his friend made up a backstory that his grandfather had oil money. And it went deep. It was like his grandfather was friends with the boxer Jack Dempsey, and that's how he was able to get into the oil game. And he had several rigs, and many of them were dry, but 2 of them hit, and it was enough to get wealthy. And then the oil regulators cracked down on him, and he was gone, but not before he made his fortune.
And then
So it
that's
was like a
why
whole- it
this
was
is
just
how
all-
Johnny Manziel can afford 3 Hummers as a sophomore.
Yes. And it
They're
was
like,
just
okay.
it was just straight autograph money. They were like his dad and his grandfather owned a Honda dealership, and they were like they were
course.
okay, but they weren't rich.
Yeah. But also, he
And it
should have been
just-
allowed to make money off the
Well, that's
autographs.
it.
I don't
Dude,
feel bad
if,
at all.
If he was around, if the rules were changed when he was around, he probably would have made more money than like professionals. He was
Dude,
a fucking.
Oh yeah,
remember
he was huge.
the second Bama A&M game
yeah,
where
he went off. for,
he
like-
went off. They lost,
Oh,
but he
yeah.
went crazy.
Yeah.
I remember I was living in Boston at the time, and I remember me and my friends like sprinting down Boylston to get home so we could just sit there and watch it.
Yeah.
And like I haven't had that with a game in forever. And I remember like the intro to the CBS broadcast, they were talking about how they sold something like $800 million in advertising just for that game. And I was like, we just ran because of
zero.
Johnny Manziel.
Yeah,
How is he not getting a penny?
zero.
Yeah, it's so insane.
Anyway,
I
what were you
love
saying
that.
about the Fall River thing.
Oh, but yeah, I whenever I bring this up, I always like to remind everyone the fact that I was at a party with him once. And,
Oh, wow.
and like I had started at Barstool, so I had like small notoriety, but like in a small town that was big.
Uh-huh.
And he was running for election, and I had no idea who the kid was. And he was just like, he's like, hey, could I take a picture with my
You
Facebook?
probably were like the same age, right?
I think he's younger.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
and I was like, yeah, of course.
And he was the mayor.
No,
Like,
he was running for
running.
mayor. And
At
I
21?
thought it was just like this funny
Crazy.
little thing where like
Yeah,
this
yeah.
kid's running for mayor, sure. So there's a picture of me and him that he said he wanted to put on his Facebook. I've never been able to find that picture. If someone can find it and get it to me so I can print it out and frame it, that would be great.
Yes.
Thank
That
you.
would be fun. That would be fun.
Did you see that? I don't know the guy's name. I think he's an Indian dude who's running for president as a Republican. He's always on like Gutfelds and
I know who you, I
Vic-
can't.
Vic
I,
Reed or something with a V, whatever.
Yeah.
Did you see
Yeah.
him singing "Lose Yourself"?
no.
Oh my
I
God.
wanted to crawl inside.
He's
myself
rapping
and
"Lose
die.
Yourself." Oh
He was
no.
on stage at like a rally. I think he had a MAGA hat, like a red hat. I don't that wouldn't make much sense, but he was wearing like, and he's literally, mom spaghetti needs me. And I was like,
When he wrote down the whole crowd, loud, he opens his mouth, but the words won't come out. He's joking now, everybody's joking now. The clock's run out, time's up, over, blam.
I was trying not to be like a hater because I was like, it's kind of cool. Like, I don't know, we're entering an era where like a president could like Eminem and like
Sure.
watched 8 Mile
Obama
and
liked
knows-
Lil Wayne and
Yeah,
stuff. He was
right.
kind of cool.
Dude, every year Obama still puts out his Spotify
his playlist, his summer playlist. Yeah. Obama still got it. Oh, shit. Ice Spice. Oh shit, Obama. Okay.
Like play the song, but don't rap the song.
No.
Because I was like, this.
Whenever anyone
Isn't
does
exactly what
hip hop at karaoke, that's some of the words. That's some.
Terrible.
Everyone thinks they know all the words to Juicy or Big Papa.
Yeah,
They don't know a single word.
Bro, the fact
they know
that
the last
anyone-
word of every line.
Yes,
There's that
if the
viral
song's
question.
playing, I can like sing
I
along
can say
with
the
it,
last
but-
letter. Yeah, you
you know.
can't do it. It's impossible.
There's the viral question, like, if you put a gun to your head, like, what song can you rap or sing?
every word.
Zero.
Yeah.
There's probably
Absolutely
not a
zero.
single
It's like
one.
it's like the Star Spangled Banner.
yeah,
That's
Dude,
it.
no chance.
I could rap Lil Wayne's verse in "Low" by Jay Sean. That's the one that could maybe do that. Down like the economy or whatever.
Great verse.
That's all I
Great
could
verse.
know. Yeah.
Dude, Lil Wayne can't even rap that.
Yeah,
verse.
he doesn't even remember it. He's
I
like,
love that when he's like, your favorite songs? I don't even know what album.
does he
they're on,
not
man."
remember any of it?
He said he doesn't know like what songs on what album.
I love that.
I think he also forgets lyrics, but I think like the hits he could still sing.
Sure.
But if you were like, yo, like what's your favorite song off the Carter 2? He'd be like, I don't even know.
He's
what
also
song it is.
recorded like 90,000 verses. Yeah.
The
That's
most
just,
prolific
I read
of
a
all
thing
time.
about Mick Jagger that I think is so funny. They like, in like the 80s, they like gave him $20 million. They're like, write an autobiography. We'd love to, like, this guy's going to interview you. We want to write a biography, $20 million. This guy interviewed Mick Jagger for like 6 straight months. And Mick Jagger remembers nothing interesting about his life. He's like, this is the most boring interview of all time. He's like, I think we got a little drunk on that tour. He like remembers no interesting anecdotes. They're
Well,
like,
that's how you know you went fucking hard, though.
Yeah,
That's why if
exactly.
you had like footage of it, it would be great because he can't remember a fucking
he's like,
thing.
or he
but-
can't say it legally. He's like,
Yeah.
yeah, there are a lot of 12-year-olds on that tour. Yeah.
Oh, I can't even.
Oh,
There's
those
the-
guys were
Imagine.
they were bad.
What
It was
kind of-
bad what they were doing.
There's
For
one
real.
album.
I mean, I'm a
I'm
huge
sorry.
Stones fan. I'm sure I know
What's
which
the one
one.
that's a black and white cover album?
Exile on Main Street.
Exile
on Main Street. Where they
Wasn't-
recorded in France in this chateau. Yeah,
Yeah.
they were just getting loaded on heroin every day. Oh, God.
My dad,
What
like,
a dream!
They were having a
In
good
France
time.
with your buddies high on heroin making
Just a new
music.
crop of French models came
Every
every
time.
week. They're like,
Oh,
oh,
my
Bianca, you're
God.
done. Okay.
I
my
don't even-
dad will he'll send me a record every once in a while, and he'll just like put like what record he likes,
Yeah.
and he'll put like a little story in it, and
Oh, yeah.
basically that. So he sent me Exile on Main Street, and he put like they got a chateau in France, like party their asses off, made this album in 2 weeks, whatever. Fucking it was. And I was like, damn, that's cool. And then there was a documentary about it, and I started the documentary in like a half hour, and I was like, they don't remember anything. I'm glad
They're just
that
telling the
also
stories.
happened.
They're like,
I was
yeah.
this is a boring ass thing. My dad's fucking postcard about this note was more
Better
interesting
than the doc. Yeah. That's you don't want to get too blackout where you don't have good stories to tell.
Right.
You gotta-
Or like someone in the room stay sober.
Yeah,
Like
one
a
guy doesn't do
documentarian.
heroin. He just gets drunk and does ketamine. No heroin for Jimmy. Yeah.
You know, yeah, there was probably some pussy who was like, I'm not shooting up tonight. And they're like,
Yeah. Oh,
"You
come
fucking
on.
loser."
Yeah.
Fucking
Peer
prude.
yeah, you don't hear
That's
peer
like,
pressure for heroin.
when
No one's like, inject. They're never doing that.
I was actually watching a movie last night, Most Wanted, who I couldn't tell for the first it's Josh Hartnett. It's a real movie about some investigative report in Canada, drug dealing, and for the first 15 minutes, the bad guy, he had like a French accent, and I was like, this guy. Is that Jim Gaffigan?
Wait, really?
And he was like the bad guy?
Really? I did not know that.
We just had him on. I was like, I'm so mad I
love
didn't watch
him.
this first
Yeah.
because he's the bad. Like,
He's doing like real acting.
He's
right?
the
Really?
bad guy. He's fucking got guns to people's heads. He's selling, and he does it great. I actually ended up falling asleep in the movie.
Wow.
But it was like
He's
it
good.
was great for the first
Oh,
half.
good.
of it.
I love
Very
Jim
interesting.
Gaffigan.
But it starts with Gaffigan offering a guy. They call it dope. I don't know what it was. It wasn't weed, so I don't know.
I think that was heroin back in the day.
Is it heroin?
Yeah,
And so
I think
he's like,
so.
the guy's like, no, I don't do that anymore. And he's like, come on. And like very quickly, he's like, all right. And he starts smoking it. And he's like, how long's it been? He's like, 6 months. And the guy passed. Yeah, it must have been heroin.
Yeah.
And I was like, phew. I guess that's part of being an addict, but he was really easily peer pressured into heroin.
Sure. Well, that's the thing that sucks is heroin probably rocks.
I saw
I bet it feels
meme
great.
on Instagram the other day, and it said something like, when she tells you like, I'm not on birth control, so don't come inside me.
Uh-huh.
And then it was a video of this movie, I think from the 70s, and this guy's shooting up heroin, and he goes like, "Ooh, ooh, ooh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry," and he passes out. And the top comment was like, it was like a Black Twitter sort of thing. They're like, "You guys are despicable for this. This is a movie about a son who gives his father a hot shot of heroin and he overdoses right in front of his kid." So it's him shooting up and being like, "Oh, this is good. Oh, like, no, I'm gonna die. Oh, I'm sorry."
so he's saying,
and he dies in front of his son.
And you've turned it into a busting a nut meme. That's what I do like that.
And I was laughing at it and then reading it, and I was like, "Now I'm laughing more." This is so fucked.
That's when people are like, Gen Z are pussies. Is like, no, they do the wildest shit online.
didn't realize.
Their memes are dark and dirty. Even I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ.
That was like, did you see when they tried
that.
to Japan? I get, I saw like 3 memes about this. So I don't know if it's true or not, but when it was like in attempts to.
Oh, and they did the Oppenheimer thing.
To show how bad that is. They're trying to do it with 9/11.
Yeah.
They fucked up because Gen Z's like, this is the best.
Yeah.
I would have gone to see Barbie if this was the marketing campaign.
You can't. There's gonna be a Japanese movie called Osama.
People celebrating in the
I
streets.
would watch that. I'd watch that.
Did you see Barbie?
I saw Barbie and Oppenheimer.
What'd you
Great
think?
movie. I think Barbie's really good.
Yeah?
Incredibly. Until I thought the end got a little heavy-handed when they go on like 17 speeches in a row. But
Yeah, that
until
was
then, I
clever.
thought it was pretty clever.
What'd you think of Oppenheimer?
Oppenheimer's amazing.
I loved it.
Absolutely.
I loved
3
it.
hours felt like an hour and a half movie. I think
I'm
Barbie
the
felt
king
longer.
Of complaining about long movies. I think everything should be maximum 2 hours, and I would have watched that for 4.
That movie was incredible. It wasn't like overly patriotic, which they were like, this is probably a bad thing we did.
Right. Yeah, they definitely
they didn't gloss over the evil of it. I really liked how he did it. I thought it was amazing.
The line, first of all, I saw Barbie first, Oppenheimer second, and because of how like boys versus girls it got, I was in Oppenheimer like hour and a half in, and I was like, this is a problem how much I like this.
I'm in Oppenheimer whenever a woman comes on screen. Get the fuck off! This is for the boys. War is for men.
It's like my friends have kids now, and they're like, the most liberal, open possible, and they're like, some boys are just boys, and like my son just comes out and he's like, "Want to play trucks?" Like, I don't even like trucks, but let's
that's
do trucks.
good. That's all
That's
good.
how I felt in Oppenheimer. I was just like, "Well, you guys want to play trucks right now?"
You're like, war is good.
Dude, I have that. I say that like with all my favorite movies are like the most like not how I am, but I watch, dude, I watch like fucking.
That's why we watch him.
Like,
right?
Olympus
Right,
Has
you're
Fallen.
being something you're not.
And I'm like, he's like punching me. He's like, this is why you can't kill God. What's he say? Democracy, because it's not about one person. It's about an idea. I'm like, tell him, Mike. Tell him.
And then every 4 years, you're like, I don't want to vote. I am going to Panera, picking up a sandwich. I don't have time to vote. Yeah. That's what we're all like. Not going to make it, Barack. Sorry.
So true.
Yeah, that's absolutely how
You
it
got
is.
it. It's a blue state anyway. You
Yeah,
got it.
right.
My
Yeah,
favorite excuse ever. Like,
Yeah,
my vote
yeah.
doesn't count.
Yeah.
But it really doesn't. Okay.
That is funny.
It's good shit.
Every time I'm obsessed with war. I love war movies, war books. I'm obsessed with the military. I would be dead in 5 seconds.
Oh, I wouldn't be dead because I would dodge in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Oh, I would dodge. Yeah. I would try to dodge.
I would never go to war.
No. Yeah.
Prison and war. I can guarantee you, I'll kill myself before I go to either.
Of course.
Like,
oh God.
I also would be like, my arches are too high and my vision isn't good.
Yeah.
For one of those Pernuvo scans. He's like, you got to find something.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to.
Yeah.
They would be like, you are a detriment to our army. Like, even like throwing your dead body at someone would be like, would be worse off. We don't want you out there. But yeah,
I'd be done. I always like to imagine, if I was in war, I'd do this to survive. Like, no, I'd be immediately clapped. Or I'd become the sex slave of the company. They just fucking fuck me. Like, okay, you can't hold a gun. We're going to fuck you, dude. There's no women left. So this is what you're going to be. You're a little boy.
You're the closest to a woman. So.
Yeah, you get a little tub of Vaseline a day and a corn on the cob. That's all you get. We're going to fuck you, dude.
I would
Incredible.
be like trench warfare, like World War One.
Oh, I'd be crying.
You all, I had to agree. Yeah, you cried at a fucking
I
open
would
mic.
cry. I cried at an open mic. I'm gonna cry at the Battle of the Somme.
If I had to, like, on the count of 3, we're all gonna go up and over the trench. And
I'd be like,
you're just gonna
psych.
yeah. 1, 2, 3, go.
Oh yeah.
I did that this weekend. I was in the pool with my kids. We were gonna try. It was cold. It was,
Yeah,
the pool was cold.
right,
It was like,
right.
let's all go under at the same time. And I went, and they popped back up. They're like, you tricked us. That would be me at war.
Yeah, right. Johnny
I-
gets his brains blown out. You're like, oh, I thought it was on go. I didn't know it was on 3. I didn't
I thought it
know.
was 3, go.
Yeah.
I mean, that the thought that those guys would just be like, okay, I'm gonna do it, and then
It's insane that they did,
bullet
and then they
right to
just
the
went
fucking
back
head.
home and just worked in a hardware store. It's wild. It's just our grandpa.
I hate the, like, what Greatest Generation shit, because it's whatever, but it's like those guys deserve some.
Those
props.
guys deserve some.
They
They're
deserve
not
some
all
serious
good. They're not
props.
good people, but it is like that was hard.
Yeah,
that was
like,
incredibly
if-
hard.
And to come back home and have any semblance of a real life. Like
Oh,
you said.
God.
I just came home and I worked a job and I had kids and a wife, and well, I don't know, maybe you drank too much or you cheated or you did some whatever. But
I think you should be
didn't come
allowed to
home-
hit your wife if you were on D-Day. Maybe.
Like,
Maybe
you-
one, just once.
Every now and then you get a free slap.
Yeah, Omaha Beach looked like she had 1,000 abortions, like in the water. Like, yeah, let him just a slap. He's thinking of his friends. Come on.
I mean, yeah, like the fact that you wouldn't come home from that and be like the most violent, maladjusted person in the world, like that's the heroism.
Sure.
Not even the
yeah,
fucking,
I agree.
the
I think that's
Normandy.
more of
Like,
heroism.
that
yeah.
is- I'd come home and be like,
The fact that they don't all get a mansion when they get
Right,
home.
like,
Why do
you
they
should
not?
I'll get a fat
Bezos,
bag of
you don't
cash.
get that mansion. This guy, he served in Iraq. He gets the mansion.
I mean,
yeah, come on.
It's one of the more fucked up things we do.
Especially when you're walking like a Manchester, New Hampshire. It's all Vietnam hats and
Totally.
stuff. It's like,
you gave
oh
the most
god,
and got nothing out of it.
absolutely.
Fuck that,
We can't
dude.
even let you work at 7-Eleven.
Speaking of Bezos, I was talking to somebody the other day, and he worked for Amazon, and he told me that somebody used the phrase "grand slam," like, "Oh, this idea is a grand slam." And he said the CEO of my consumer goods company didn't know what that meant.
Oh god, they're so out of touch with like.
And his line was they were like, it's like a grand slam, like a home run when everyone's on base, And he was like, all I've ever loved is consumer goods. I've never had any time for sports. I don't know what that means. I
Oh
was like,
god.
Somehow you made not knowing what a grand slam is cool.
Yeah.
By being like, I don't even.
No, since I was
above
8
that.
years old, I've been obsessed with brand
Well, that's what
awareness.
like,
What?
I don't think I told you this. A guy, a stool lead, reached out to me. We were having a conversation. He said he works for Amazon, and that somebody said grand slam in a meeting, and Bezos was like, "What does that mean?" And they were like, yeah, it's a grand. What do you mean it's a grand slam? And he goes, all I've ever loved is consumer goods, and I don't know anything else.
That's insane.
Like
That's the
yeah,
saddest thing
from-
I've ever heard. This is
when
our
you
richest
were-
guy. This is our best. Come on.
You're 8 years old, like worrying about like delivering books online and not like playing baseball.
Consumer
like,
services.
consumer goods.
Consumer goods.
All I've ever
What the
loved is consumer
lamest
goods.
thing to be into.
Right.
Oh my god. If he said sex trafficking, that'd be cooler. I'd be like, okay, at least he believes in something. Come on. Consumer
I can
goods.
at least understand
I
that
can
one.
get
I
it.
get it.
Oh my god.
I meant to say this the other day when I was doing my video on the because we were very aligned on the Elon and Zuckerberg fight.
Yeah.
Is that real that
Well,
they're actually considering it?
This is what I meant to say at the end of my video. Like anybody who believes that's ever happening,
There's no way.
there's no. First of all, it's just crazy, like silly to begin with. But if you look at everything Elon's doing, it's a guy who has no intention of ever taking this fight.
Yeah.
He was like, I got to get a MRI scan. Oh,
Well,
like,
That's a-
Zuckerberg has issued a statement.
Yeah. So he
Oh,
came
he
out.
said he's not doing
he
it?
came out and was like, "I'm."
It
he's like,
actually
Elon
was
is
the
clearly
most,
not
like-
serious.
Yeah.
I actually like kind of take the sport seriously. I'm going to continue to fight with people and spar with people who actually take it seriously. And if and when that happens, maybe we'll do it. But
Oh, right.
But I'm moving on from this because it was Elon was just like moving the.
He's
the
the
goalposts
classic
every
guy
time.
making excuses. Like when I do a podcast with my friend who played Division I basketball, and I always keep challenging him to one-on-one. He's like, "Oh no, my knees hurt now. It's not the same." He's had an excuse for a year. Every time we're about to play, he's like,
Wait,
"Oh,
he played D1?
He played at Notre Dame and BC,
And he's making excuses.
Yeah,
because
because he's like out of shape. Yeah, and I'm terrible. I can barely dribble. The guy, he's afraid. He's afraid of the
Wait, I
smoke.
can't see
I get it. He's afraid because if I score 1 point, it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
He always
Yeah.
comes. That's what Elon's doing. He's like, "Oh,
It really
I could
is,
do
though.
it, but I need an MRI."
He said he was like, he needed an MRI, and the doctor was like, and the reason I really picked up on it is because I had the same thing as him, and like we have a neck fusion. Once you get your shit fused, they're like, you can like be dropped on your head and your neck
It's
will be
never
fine.
gonna
It's
break.
titanium. You're
Really?
stronger than ever. So he was like, that's all good, but I do have like my shoulder. I separated my shoulder.
buy a
once.
new
It's
shoulder.
like, yeah.
You could buy a bionic man.
It's also like you're I don't know how old he's probably in his 50s or something like yeah, that's like every 50-year-old man's gonna have some shit wrong with
right,
him. Like,
right.
The Zuckerberg thing, I hate how like everyone has a favorite billionaire now. I think
Oh,
it's the
it's
weirdest
so
fucking
lame
thing. It's
that
like
we're all like
impossibly-
sucking their dicks. Like maybe they'll give us money one day. Like you remember I tweeted that you were cool, Zuckerberg.
Right. Meme lord, you're my
He's gonna
meme lord.
give us
Can I
a
have
house or
$50,000?
something? It's
But when I
insane.
read that Zuckerberg comment, I was like, "That's actually kind of a cool guy." Where he was
Sure.
just like, "He's like, I take this seriously."
And also,
I
I think he's good as far as like a amateur. People were like,
Yeah.
yeah, he can,
he
throw-
would
I'm not gonna-
destroy Elon.
Yeah.
Elon doesn't have that dog in him.
I'm not
I don't
gonna
think
I'm not
so.
gonna fight for Zuckerberg in like the replies or anything like that. But I read that and I was like, that's a pretty cool guy. Where he's like, it's time. Like he's like, enough of the circus. It's time to move on. This fight clearly isn't happening. I'm gonna keep fighting with people who like to fight.
Sure.
And I was like, that's a cool dude response.
What
Like,
was the initial impetus? Why did they want to fight? What was it?
I
Just
think
like
it
we're
was.
rich.
I think it was like Twitter beef. Like it was like Threads and Twitter were
right,
competing,
Threads,
and I think
right.
Elon trying to be funny online said like we should fight, and I think Zuckerberg was kind of like, okay, like I actually do this. Like I actually
you're
train.
gonna die.
Yeah, I will fuck your shit
Your
up,
child
dude.
XZY will never see you again. Yeah.
Someone tweeted the clip of it's like Zuckerberg or Elon challenging Zuckerberg, and it's Charlie challenging the lawyer. And he's like, do you want to do a duel? And he's like, yeah, sure, I'm free next week. And he's like, maybe not.
Yeah, I think that was
Right.
exactly what
That's
happened.
very perfect.
Elon, I mean, they were talking to like the Vatican and the Ministry of Travel to do it in the.
They were gonna do it in the
Colosseum.
Vatican.
Bro,
Oh,
in
the
Like,
Colosseum.
Italy had to like approve it, and he
I've
said
been
it
to the
was-
Colosseum. You cannot fight in
No.
that.
Yeah, that would
There's-
make no sense.
Like,
Can't,
none
it's
of it.
it's
It's like
falling apart.
It's a
Yeah.
fucking pile of rubble.
Yeah, there's nothing. There's
like
no
there
way.
isn't a floor.
Right.
There's no floor to the Colosseum.
It would be. Also, just like the notion of that is like the Colosseum was like.
You better kill each other. Then.
Yeah,
I'd like
like
that. I'd like that.
Fucking
Billionaire Fight Club.
Spartacus and
Bro, they-
Commodus and Maximus, like these guys used to like fight swords and fucking fire, and I
they
think
were
they had
forced
lions
to
and
do it,
chariots, and they would literally, if I don't do this, I don't have my life, and then we're just gonna let these like billionaires like
Just
play
for
in the
fun.
Colosseum. Like,
And it'll
fuck
probably
that.
be pay-per-view, and they'll make money off of
Absolutely.
it.
That's-
They'll
of
make-
course that's what it was, you know,
Yeah,
it
of
was
course
all
they're
of
gonna
that.
make a
It's
little
like-
money off of it.
Before the fights, the gladiators used to all have dinner together every night because they didn't.
Oh, really?
They didn't know if they'll ever
Last
see each other.
dinner.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Every
That's the
night's
only
a
way-
Last
I'd watch
Supper.
that dinner rather than I watch the fight.
Oh.
As long as one of you
die.
One of you know you're dying in an hour.
That would be
Damn.
sick.
That's a great movie about the final dinner of a bunch of gladiators the
That
night
is,
before.
yeah.
Oh
Would
wow.
watch the fuck out of
That's
Reach out to Ridley
great.
Scott, pop
Well, they're
in
making
too.
a Gladiator too. I don't
Yeah.
know how.
Are they?
They
Yeah.
are. Yeah,
With,
I don't know what
with,
it would be about.
Russell Crowe?
Not with Russell Crowe. No, he actually.
Oh, Ridley Scott.
It was announced before we interviewed him, and I'm so happy because I forgot to tell you beforehand. He
Oh.
does not like being asked.
Oh, okay, good.
Right,
I was gonna say I
if
was
they're
gonna blow
doing
my head off
Gladiator
that we
too.
didn't ask it.
Like
but-
we came out and you're like, I can't believe we didn't talk about Gladiator. And I was like, thank God we didn't talk about Gladiator.
Oh, he
He doesn't want to talk
hate-
about Gladiator 1?
I don't know if he doesn't mind, but because I would have forgotten and I would have said something about Gladiator too. I think he had not a bit of a snap where he's like, I should be paid for how much I'm asked about this fucking movie.
Oh,
or
because
something
he's like
that.
he thinks he's done better movies, or like
I think it's just like
he's just done with it.
Yeah, I think everyone keeps asking him like, are you?
I
gonna-
get. I see
Yeah.
both sides of that. I hate
Sure.
when people are like, don't ask me about this unbelievable thing that made me like who I am. And I mean, I guess he can point to a million other things that made him money.
Sure,
and made
he'd
him
be like,
famous.
I've done other
right.
movies,
But it's
I actually
like
can't name
I
any
also.
off.
I mean, I would just. if
I'm talking
that.
about Gladiator 2. I think you define with Gladiator 1.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I
Because
see.
Because he's mad
I
that
thought,
he's not
you meant
in
like
it.
just Gladiator at all.
I don't even know if he's mad he's not in it. I think he's
so it like Ridley Scott decided you're not in it.
I think it's the early. I
It's
don't
a prequel
know.
or something.
Got
He's
it.
too
'Cause
old.
the
Kind of like
star
Rocky
of
with
it-
Stallone and all that shit.
The star of it is Paul Mescal, that kid from.
Who's that?
He's in Normal People on Hulu.
Okay.
Irish guy. He
Okay.
was engaged to Phoebe Bridgers for a while.
Oh,
That
sure.
feels like.
Step down.
But
But I'll probably be pleasantly surprised, sort
But
of
I
thing.
think-
But
no,
as of
yeah.
right now, I'm
Denzel's
like,
in it. I think Denzel. Like, it's got big. I think Denzel's in it.
Denzel.
oh, see
okay.
that if they gave it to like a new person, I could get down with that. If you went and got another superstar from my era and just didn't give it to me, I'd be furious.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and he's old too. They're both the same.
Right,
Probably
it's not
the
like
same
you
age.
like
yeah.
they're
not
gonna
a
fill the
young
same
gun.
shoes except for like
Yeah, I'd
black
love
and
to
white.
see
They're the same.
Denzel
Yeah, I
fight,
think he's
yeah.
playing. I think Paul Mescal plays young Maximus.
Is Denzel the emperor? They're like saying the Roman emperor was black.
Pedro. Yeah, it's got Denzel, Pedro Pascal, Connie Nelson, Paul Mescal.
I
Okay.
also
And
kind of
Joseph Quinn. Oh, and Barry Keoghan.
I actually don't know any of these people.
Yeah, I
except
don't know
for
much
the-
about actors
Barry
anymore.
Keoghan's the guy from Banshees who was like the dumb one.
Oh yeah, that guy's kind of on the pop up. Like,
Joseph
on the come up.
Quinn's from Stranger Things.
I almost, if I was him, I think there's something cool about being like I remember this is a very different
I don't
genre,
know
but
if Keoghan's
when they made Dumb and Dumber 2 without Jim
Oh,
Carrey,
yeah,
the
Jeff
first time
Daniels.
around,
Or Jeff Daniels was in it, but not Jim Carrey. Yeah.
Jim Carrey said something like, imitation is the greatest form of flattery.
Sure.
Like,
Oh,
like
God.
a real jab, but like, I'm letting the people know, like, I don't like this, but I'm also not being petty about it. Or I'm being petty, but I'm not being like,
Right.
loud about it.
He
like,
knows Jeff Daniels needs the money.
if I was Russell Crowe and I could be like I know that Gladiator 2 is less good without me. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like, go ahead, do it, but
it actually-
You know,
it
it's
would
not going to be
better.
as good as the first. There's
And
no
that's the
way.
other
It's
thing, too.
impossible.
Yeah, you
It's
just can't
impossible.
top it.
There's no way.
I wonder if is there like beef or like is it really Scott? and him
I
not gonna
wonder
belong
if
anymore?
it is such an iconic movie. First rated R movie I've ever seen in theaters. That's why it's
Sure,
so iconic.
yeah.
That's
why.
That's why everyone remembers it.
John Feitelberg heard the word fuck.
That was like my dad was like, "You can see this one."
You saw it.
Well, when it's violence, it's like it's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. As long as it's
for
not a
kids with
tit.
sex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could never
Like
handle
when
it.
you can watch someone's head get chopped
Yeah,
off.
organs bubbling up. That's good for an 8-year-old. It's actually really important.
I think Titanic came out before that.
Was that R-rated too?
It's not R-rated, but it does have tits.
Yeah, it
And I
did.
saw that
It
4
did.
times in a weekend.
I bet
No
you
way.
did.
You just kept going.
It was
How old were
That's
you?
almost
I was
your
on a ski
entire
trip,
weekend.
and it was like
Fucking
it was,
40
it was
hours of-
raining that
Yeah,
weekend.
yeah. Right. That's
it
a
was
long
just
movie.
like we just went like every
It
day.
is a good movie. Titanic's a good movie. it ain't bad.
But I almost feel like Russell, he's got to be like almost like they're trying to keep it secret, like almost like a baby Yoda
Maybe,
thing. Like,
yeah.
He is so important. He is the movie.
He's got to be.
Right.
I mean, if that also, if I was typecast as, are you not entertained? I'd be totally okay with that.
Yeah.
It's one thing if you're like,
is that?
I'm saying, but like, if he,
That's how he
if he
sees
didn't
himself.
like, if he didn't like
Oh,
talking
I
about
see.
Gladiator, like the way, like if Jason Alexander doesn't like being talked about as George Costanza, I can kind of understand that, But
Yeah.
if people remember me as this, like that's fucking A.
Yeah, no one's mocking you. It's
Yeah,
like very
it's-
cool.
you're the
We love
coolest guy
that.
ever.
Yeah.
I remember I was going through Russell Crowe stuff the other day because I very recently rewatched Gladiator, and I think I was just like scrolling through what had they like also buy Russell Crowe kind of deal.
Nuts.
And because it was like the first movie I got introduced to Russell Crowe, I just assumed, as narcissists do, that's when that was his breakout role.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't realize he did L.A. Confidential like 10 years before.
Oh,
that.
he
really?
Was,
Yeah.
he was on the scene for sure already. It
Damn.
was, there's a new movie coming out called Strays. Have you seen this?
I did.
Oh, the dogs.
With the dog, but
This
that's
Will
what-
Ferrell
that's
and
rated
Jamie
R.
Foxx. Yeah, I know. I was like,
so,
how?
Like, they must just be like motherfucking
Yeah.
and like saying all sorts of shit.
That
which,
cannot be good.
It can't.
There's no way that can be good.
the R-rated thing just gives me hope that like maybe almost like we were talking earlier, like it's just dumb that like a dog saying like "fuck your mother" will be like
True. If it's like
I don't know, the
Triumph,
dog saying
yeah.
"come on your face" or something. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
that
know, like
could be
whatever.
fun.
If they go all the way over the top, but
Yeah, I Will Ferrell was good in Barbie. I liked Will Ferrell in Barbie.
Will,
I
Will
thought
Ferrell,
he was fun.
Will Ferrell, I feel like has just been collecting checks for a while.
He hasn't done much like legendary in about a
yeah,
decade,
he's doing like
probably.
the Lego movies.
What
and
was
things
he?
like
Is he
that.
the
Oh,
producer
sure.
of Succession? He's the
Really?
producer of something
Really?
that like you really
Oh,
would
wow.
not expect him to be the producer of. I'm gonna figure that out real quick.
I don't know what a producer means.
No.
When someone's
You know,
like
it's
they're
funny,
a producer of a show, I have no idea.
We talked to the guy who produces the Fast and the Furious
Okay.
series, and I asked him that because I was like,
I always see that. I was like, what does that entail?
I
They're
thought it
not-
meant just like you put up the money.
Yeah.
But he was like, and I'm sure maybe executive and
sorry, he's an executive producer
Oh, okay.
of Succession. But
Really?
Still.
I thought
Would
it was
have never
actual
thought
producer.
that.
He this guy was like was like on set like making sure everything goes,
Oh, really? You're like, they're
you know.
making sure the
I mean,
set
he's also probably
design-
trying to make it sound like he's the most important, but it's like,
Yeah.
they were doing a crazy stunt, and he needed to make sure that like they had the fucking helicopter ready and the this and the that, and he was the one connecting the people and I was like, oh, so you're like instrumental in the
Oh,
movie. So,
really?
in that
always
case,
thought-
I almost think that producers might be the most
I
important.
thought they were
person.
just the rich guy, like
So
you
did
said.
I.
I thought
I'm sure
they
there are people who do
just
I
that
think
like
that's what
funded it.
executive is. I think executive
Oh.
producer is pay.
I just pay.
I guess
Oh.
so. I just read in quick a line like Will Ferrell is part owner of the production company. So he gets an
Oh,
executive producer
okay.
thing.
It's
Not
like
a
a
bad
Funny or
producer,
Die thing or
like-
whatever. Yeah.
Producer, I think it's like
Producer,
you're
you
literally
are more-
producing the
yeah.
movie.
Okay. Okay.
So that's probably where this guy he did all of the Fast and the Furious movies.
All like 11.
And
What are
then
they at 11?
10,
10.
and
yeah.
then like, I mean, name a blockbuster. He did it. So this guy
Really?
must have like. But he would walk in the room. You
Neil
never know who he
Morris.
is.
Right.
Well, look up Neil Morris. Neil Morris.
it's-
does
I think
it's
that's the type
comical.
of fame. That's
Yeah.
great.
Totally.
You don't have
Oh
to be
my
mobbed in a
God.
coffee shop.
This
You
guy
just-
could literally
know
go
what?
anywhere.
It makes money. It's great.
I completely agree, and I think that's probably because we have the little fucking kernel of fame.
Sure.
But like, rich guys must see like someone else get a picture taken of them, and they're like, they don't know I have so much more fucking
I bought
money.
the car he did the stunt
Yes.
in.
Yes.
I
That's
paid
why
for that.
you gotta be like Lorne Michaels. where it's
Lorne
like
Michaels,
Everybody
sure.
knows and like sucks your dick when you are talked about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Right.
I don't want to be. I
couldn't recognize
anonymous,
him. I don't
you
think
know?
I would recognize Lorne Michaels.
I think I would recognize
I don't
him,
know
but
if-
I wouldn't. I also don't think people are like running up
They're
to
not
him
going
in
up
the
to
streets.
him, right,
So,
yeah.
but
Yeah,
when
that's true.
someone says Lorne Michaels, you're like, yeah, man, he oversaw all this shit.
like a bassist for Maroon 5. That's
Yeah,
the dream.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
the dream. You still get a
Yes.
tour.
Yeah.
You probably get
Your
Adam
fucking
Levine's
chicks.
side pieces
Yeah.
or
whatever you
Wow.
want, but you can still, just go to the movies.
Yeah,
and, you
I
need a
think
body
that's
double
the
or
dream.
whatever.
Yeah,
Oh.
no one can name anyone else in Maroon 5.
Dude,
Fuck
They've
fame.
probably
It's all about the money.
Not even a
yeah.
guess. Like
I
I
couldn't-
couldn't.
I have no idea. It's the same guys the whole time too. It's 5 guys.
Yeah.
They have probably one of the biggest bands the last 15
that
years.
has to be
I
the
made
most
the argument
humble
that
group of guys, or they have a great revenue share going or something.
Yeah.
Because by now somebody would have been like, "Fuck Adam Levine."
Yeah,
you know?
right.
They might, or he has blackmail on them or something. Because
Right.
the fact that that's not just like the Adam Levine band is pretty fucking
Sure,
crazy.
that's true. That's true.
So anyway, the special is out.
Special is out.
it-
Please watch
I
it.
think the YouTube model has really proven out very well for a lot of people.
I think it's great.
and I think you can really tell, who's next and who's funny and who's doing it
It
right.
is good to like put a product out there and you're like, oh, this people can see how it's better than these other guys. It's
Yeah.
just, it just
Yeah,
is.
there-
I mean,
it-
hate to toot
it's-
my own horn, but I think it's good.
Yeah, and it's a little bit risky because like the views are all public, so it's like
Sure.
sink or swim.
Yeah, that does suck.
And,
I do hate that.
But it's
Yeah.
also good. Like once you hit like of course you want to do like 1 million views, right?
Sure,
but
sure.
there's building blocks to this, and
Absolutely.
you hit like 6 figures and like really quick, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about
Then
that
people
alone,
take it seriously.
yeah, it's like that means you could fill up a fucking football stadium with the people who watch this.
Right,
That's incredible.
right. That's
and
awesome.
of course the hope is you get to Ari Shaffir doing 6 million views and
Right.
Matt Rife doing whatever he did and shit.
Jesus,
But
yeah.
like for that to hit as quickly as it did, like
Yeah, I feel
you
good
did
about
it.
how it's
Yeah,
going,
that
and
was really
I'm
good.
going to do another one,
Yeah.
soon or in like the next year.
and I
So,
think
yeah.
it used to be like you do this and then the streaming services take note and come along.
I don't care about Netflix at all.
I think I don't think
literally
I think
care.
that was the idea behind it, and now I think it's more like no, this is the model.
No,
Like,
yeah, Norman
you make
was
money
like
doing it this way.
Mark Norman was like, he's like, it's just an ad for your next tour.
Yeah,
It's like if you watch this and you liked it, my next
Come
tour is
see
going to
me.
be jokes that are probably better than that,
Yep.
and you should
Yep.
come. Yeah, that's
and
really
I
all it
think
is.
I
the
never
more
thought
you
that.
guys, I'm always trying to just get like I'm trying to like marry the internet and comedy, and like 'cause
Sure,
I know
sure.
it is.
I think stand-ups some of us were a little like slow to get on social media. We're like, no, I
Yeah.
just want to tell jokes on a stage.
Totally.
And
I think
Eddie Brill's
it's-
gonna find me in the back and put me on the
Yep.
Tonight Show. And we were a little hesitant to
there
get
is
on
still
TikTok.
a pushback of like I know you don't want to burn material, and I know
Right.
like there's some hurdles to get over. I think, but you know.
But I think if you're good enough to write new material, burn it. I burn material every
just
once
the
in a
phrase
while.
of burning is you're not burning it. You're 3 million people are going to see it because it went viral.
Yeah.
You're burning it by doing it on stage only. You know?
Yeah.
Do it for the bigger audience. I think.
Also, if people like a joke, people have been like, "Why didn't you tell that joke?" I was like, "Oh, I thought
Absolutely.
you wouldn't want to hear it. That's what they wanted to hear."
I mean, you know,
they like it's like hearing your favorite song.
Tells the fucking same story.
He sells Machine every time.
Nate Bargatze will flat out be like, "I'm gonna tell you the classics now."
Absolutely.
And then also you hear other jokes. You come for the experience. Like
it's better live.
I actually also love sometimes being like, "I've already heard that joke." You know what I mean?
Yeah. Guys whispering like, "He did this one."
Yeah.
This one.
I also like we saw. We saw Tom Segura at the very beginning of his Monster tour, the middle and the end.
Oh wow!
And we saw like how a joke changed and added it, and it became better. We saw that with Shane Gillis, like watching it come together. Yeah, so it's like I think that's just an old archaic way of thinking, and I think the more that everybody kind of gets like down with the internet, everybody can eat, everybody can get paid. My hope would be what we're trying to do with Barstool Comedy is like, when we get it all set and it's just the machines rolling, the idea of like you have to be broke and like eating fucking cans of tuna fish, sleeping on someone's couch while you try to become a comic is like no longer
over.
a thing.
Yeah,
you know?
I
you can have like a living
you
wage.
have to suffer for your art.
Yeah, like
you shouldn't be paid your first 8 years. Like people say things like
8
that.
years.
Like old guys, like you don't deserve anything more than a drink ticket.
It's insane.
Like, what? You get chicken tenders. That's it. That's how it was in
you
the
get
80s.
laid and you get a pack of cigarettes. What? No, I need to survive.
Chuckle fuckers.
Yeah. And
did.
I wonder how many like really funny people maybe never went to like do a corporate America job because they were like, I'm not gonna be fucking homeless for a decade, you know? Yeah. And so like I hope that the industry gets better. I hope that the quality gets better.
The pay is getting much better. Like, because you can monetize Facebook Reels now, Instagram. They don't pay you a lot, but it's something.
Yeah,
you can make your rent from it.
You still, you probably still have to live lean.
You
for
have
a
to
while,
live lean, but
I think that will make you better and all that. But
comics,
it shouldn't be
right.
You know,
it shouldn't be.
It's like the people who are like, you got to get to season 5 and then it gets good. It's like, well, that's hundreds of hours of me watching a TV show that sucks.
Right.
It's like, I don't want to live a shitty life for 10 years to then maybe get past at the club, you know? So
we're all standing up to like these bookers who for years have just been like, nope, you get $800 for 9 shows. That's how it is.
Yeah.
That's how it's
You almost need to unionize a little. I don't know.
There should be a union, but we never will because we're too selfish.
I was gonna say.
We won't even let anyone else on stage. Totally. We're not going to do a committee.
The last place that you got, like, you will never join together.
Everyone. Politicians will unionize before we do.
Yes.
The Republicans and Democrats will be like, oh, yeah, let's join a union. Before comics do that. Never.
Nope.
We'd be like, we're not like prop comics.
I'm funnier than you.
Crowd work comics? No.
Fuck
you get your own union. Yeah, absolutely. Well, they say the toughest thing, once you become a headliner, you can actually make a decent amount of money.
Right.
But like there's a host feature. Being like a feature, I was that for years. The pay has literally not gone up in 25 years.
Really?
Guys,
So
like
that
you still get
middle
$100 a show. That's what it was in the late 80s at this club. They've changed nothing.
Insanity.
It's insane. Nothing else is like that. It's insane.
I mean,
minimum wage has doubled since then.
You guys gotta like band together and at least say that.
We did.
Let's for features. Let's all at least agree.
I think that's kind of going away a little bit. They're realizing they can't get away with that.
Insane.
Yeah, and like no hotel. A lot of times I would have to. I slept in my car so many times on a weekend in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, getting $100. I just slept in my car. And then the next day, I just come to the show like, you're a little sweaty. I worked out a lot. Yeah.
I mean, God bless that you still stick with it because I would just like fuck all these people.
I have a little black book.
Yeah,
I remember when I come back to those clubs. I demand 5 times the money.
Yeah, you should, man. And I think
exactly.
10 times and 20 times is probably next in your future. So
hopefully.
Keep it up, bro.
That's the goal of being famous, is to shit on people who wronged you.
Yep.
That's really the only thing. I got like 5 comics when I get 300,000 followers, I'm letting loose. On that. I'm letting it fly.
All right. So everybody go follow. Was it
Please
Geoffrey
follow me.
Asmus?
Jeffrey
underscore?
ATM. Jeffrey ATM. Jeffrey Asmus. Come on.
Very
Follow me.
easy to remember.
Very good.
Jeffrey
yes.
spelled the goofy
with
way.
With a G, please.
Geoffrey.
Yes.
Geoffrey Asmus.
Yeah.
You'll remember.
Whitecomedian.com. I bought that too.
Very smart.
My tour dates. I bought that
Very
URL
smart.
years ago. Whitecomedian.com. Best $80 a year I've ever spent. It's incredible.
Excellent, man. Thanks a lot.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
having
very
me, guys.
much,
Very
dude.
fun.
All right, big thanks for watching. If you made it through this whole episode, that means you should be subscribed. There's so many of you out there who watch and don't subscribe, so make sure you are a KFC Radio subscriber. Make sure you get all the content when it drops. Click that button now.
I have 9 fingers. I'm still subscribed. It's that easy.